Hey everybody, hey everybody, hey everybody. What's happening? What's happening? We just came on here for a little bit of a review, a little bit of talk, a little bit of razzle dazzle. Everybody is dealing with the explosive or the goofiest interview of this season. Strangely, the exact opposite of the interview that Nick Fuentes did with Tucker Carlson. But we don't need to do the interview about Nick again. The interview is the interview. What was more interesting was his take on his interview. So his take on his interview. Apparently, Nick thought he won. Apparently, Nick thought he won the fight. Apparently, he thought he won the fight. I don't know whether he thought he won the fight, why he thought he won the fight, because all I saw was somebody explaining themselves. That's all I saw was someone explaining themselves. Everything I saw from that interview between Nick and Piers Morgan was Nick explaining himself, Nick explaining his father, Nick explaining him X, Y, and Z. Not really debate, not really a debate, right? See, my understanding is this. If you're explaining, you're losing. And Nick did enough explaining for him to have lost. Because when you start defending yourself with every little thing you do, you already let somebody define who you are and drag you by your ass. That's what Piers did. From my understanding, Piers did the dragging. Piers dragged his ass. Even though he got out his ass, he's got a little quip, got a little smart, got a little, X, Y, and Z. Piers dragged your ass. Instead of standing strong in what you said and what you did, I'm a racist. I don't like black people. He tried to soften it up. Because y'all saw the interview. He tried to soften the interview. He tried to soften it up. Oh, well, I just don't want to live near black people. Black people don't want to live near black people. No. Now you're reacting to someone else's thought pattern, someone else's criticism, someone else's pressure, someone else's accusation. The person who's calm and unbothered usually looks more confident than the person scrambling to explain themselves. And you looked kind of goofy when you was explaining yourself. But let's hear Nick's take on what happened.
About what is new in the world of the generational run. I am in the news again. And tonight we're going to be talking all about my appearance on Piers Morgan Uncensored this morning. Come on now. Come on, give it up. W's in the chat. W's in the chat. Generational run doesn't stop.
He said W's in the chat. Yeah. When you're on the defensive, you're no longer leading the situation. And I saw a younger guy on the defensive every step of the way. So I was following. I was watching. I was looking. I was like, okay, you sort of can handle it. But he does admit he was kind of nervous. Why were you nervous, Nick? Why were you nervous to be in front of Piers Morgan?
Generational run never stops. This is the eternal run. And we ended 2025 very strongly. I think this might be one of my last major collaborations this year. I still got a couple planned, but this is like the last big one, I think. And we ended on a great note. I'll be honest with you. I was a little nervous about this one. I was a little nervous. It's been a while since I did a combative interview with a liberal before. But I locked in. That's that simple. I got dialed in. I locked in. I prepared. I strategized. I studied.
And that was the thing. Piers Morgan just asked routine questions. There wasn't anything weird or off-putting or anything like that. He just asked straightforward questions. You're a racist. You're this. You're that. That's all he asked. He didn't ask anything weird, but Nick thought he won.
And I came out on top, the reigning champion. Who's left? Who's even left? What else you got? What else you got? What time is it, huh? Broken clock, right again. So we'll talk about it. We'll get into the appearance. It was a lot of fun.
And it kind of made you look really, really like you're way over there by yourself. It made you look strange. It made you look like you were chasing people for acceptance. That's what it made you look like. Even though you held your own to a little bit, to a significant portion of it, you still looked like you were begging for acceptance. Trying to explain. Okay? You're answering questions you didn't ask. You knew what questions were coming. Why weren't you prepared for all of these questions? Why weren't you prepared for the racism question like you weren't prepared for it? Like you had to soften it. Like you're preparing for something later on. Because it can't be running for office, because there's no way you'd get anybody else to vote for you unless it's your group. So it couldn't be that. So what was it? What was it? I don't get it.
And I don't think it went the way Piers thought it would. Actually, I don't know. It's funny because during the interview and afterward, he seemed like he thought it went his way.
Right.
But then I think he saw the comments on YouTube and on X, and then he started freaking out on Twitter.
Yeah, but the thing
is,
you were on X and Twitter. You were also on X and Twitter talking back to Piers Morgan, saying comments to Piers Morgan. Like you and him were going back and forth. You were saying things on X, and I was like, why are you guys going back and forth on X? If everything went so great, if everything was exactly how you wanted it to be, why is it that you're on here saying on X, you need to go get your wife, bro? You need to go get your wife. Why would you need to say that, Nick, if the interview went completely the way you wanted it to go? Why did you say that to Piers Morgan? And then Piers Morgan comes back and says, you really need to get laid, you deluded little twerp. Two adult men fighting after, I don't know whether this is today or whenever, but fighting. Two grown men having a back and forth on X. You need to get laid, you deluded little twerp. That don't sound like you think you won, Nick. To me, it don't sound like you think you won. It sounds like you're defensive in a certain way. So I went through and I pulled up your stream with somebody else. I put somebody else and I listened to what they had to say. Let's go.
Basically saying, yeah, I'm a racist, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
You're fine with saying you're a racist?
Totally. I think everybody's racist. I think everybody.
Now, by the way, later on in the interview, he goes on to say,
yeah, but he says, I think everyone is a racist. Why are you trying to soften up what you say? Why are you trying to soften up your response? Why are you trying to soften that up? Why are you worried about what people think? Because you could not have thought that interview was going the way you thought it would with the responses that you got and the comments that were in the section, that were in the thing. You couldn't have. But apparently he thought so. Because he's over here bragging He's over here bragging about how well he did in the interview.
Everybody. And I don't think it got the reaction that he thought it would. And that's very telling. It ain't 2015 anymore, buddy. Different generation, and it's a different era. It's a new time. This is the year of the Groyper, year of the frog, pal.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. A lot of these boomers, not only is there a generational divide in how we speak to each other and how we talk about these issues, but it's a different world. It's a different conversation. And the old playbook where they call you racist, they call you a misogynist, they call you an anti-Semite,
Right.
and they expect that everybody is going to fall in line. It doesn't work like that anymore.
Right.
It's 2025. This is a new chapter. And I'll talk about what I mean by that and why I think that is. But suffice to say, he came out of it feeling very confident. And then I think he was very surprised by some of the feedback. Well,
And you know what I think it was? I think what pissed him off, I think what pissed Nick off was when Pierce brought his father into the conversation, because his father, according to Nick, was racist. Hold on. Let me
Know
see.
your father. And to be clear, I have no knowledge about him at all other.
well, then let's leave him out of it.
Well, hang
Let's
on.
leave him out of it if you don't know him.
Hang on, Nick. You put that story into the public domain on your show. I'm simply reminding you of what you told everybody, millions of people, about your father. If you now want to retract it, fine. If you want to say it was a joke, which is what your position was earlier, fine. But I'm allowed to put to you things you've said publicly. That's not unfair. That's not me targeting your father. You put that story about him out
You know
there.
what you're doing. You know what you're doing.
I'm asking you about a pretty shocking anecdote, which
It honestly reminds. This is
And that's true. He put it out there in the public arena, which means it's public fodder, which means people can talk about it, right? But I think this is what happens when you put personal information out there and then you're not ready to be the subject of the shock jock. You're not subject to be the shock. Okay? No, nobody would appreciate their children being, or their children or their father or family being pulled into anything. Nobody would appreciate that. But Nick is the one who introduced it. So why wasn't Nick ready to hear that? It sort of gave you an idea, or gave you a clue as how this interview was going to go. Because Nick, at that particular point, was on his heels. Why is he talking about my dad? Oh, shit. You're going to get my dad fired. My dad is in trouble. My dad don't want to be a part of this. My dad might be racist. There's a lot of people who have racist thoughts and family members, right? But a lot of us don't talk to our family. You know, we don't have confrontation or conversations with our parents or people that we're related to and say, hey, that's some shitty stuff that you're saying. I recall, man, you call yourself a beautiful. But for example, my dad used to call all Mexican people Jose. Jose this, Jose that, Jose this, Jose that, right? And one day, you know, me being me, I said, Dad, you know that shit ain't true. I said, you know that shit ain't right. You know that's not right. Why are you calling that person Jose? That person's name is John, or person's name is Miguel, or whatever. I said, don't be calling people that. Don't do that. At least don't do that around me. I said this to my parent. I said this to my parent when I was like 15, 16 years old. I said this. Don't talk like that around me. I don't like it. You know, I never heard him say anything else out of pocket, not in front of me. But I heard it. I only needed to hear him once or twice. Calling Mexican people Jose. I was like, don't say that in front of me. I'm 15, 16 years old. I'm telling my father, don't talk like that in front of me. I don't like you talking like that. Of course, he looked at me like I was crazy, but if you knew Heathen Queen, I don't care. I don't care who you are. We the same human being when our feet hit the ground. I'm gonna talk to you just like I talk to anybody else with respectfully. So apparently Nick thought it was okay because racism is taught. It's something that's taught. It's something that you hear in your family, and they decide that you're afraid, you have an aversion for something, and stay away from that person. Don't talk to that person. Racism is taught. Okay. Racism, and then sometimes it's in your whole history, your whole population, your whole race of people. Okay, so Nick grew up that way. It may not have necessarily been something that was ingrained, but see, this is what I do understand. Nick is smart enough to figure out there's good black people and bad black people. He's smart enough to figure that out. So to a certain extent, I think this is a grift. To a certain extent, sure enough, nobody wants to live around people who are destructive, or people who don't want to respect other people, or people who are violent. Of course, nobody does. I don't want to be around people like that either. Okay, and I'll say that straight up. I don't want you living in my neighborhood if you don't know how to conduct yourself. Of course, I'll say that in a minute. So he's not that different from most people. Most people don't want it. So I know that he's smart enough to calculate that in his head and say not all people are like that, because he had black friends. According to him, Ye was his friend. Ye, what is his name? Ye, that Kanye guy is his friend. Okay. Because it is what it is, but he thought he won that. I think you were revealed in this interview. Mm. Right. 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 Mm. Yeah, I heard that Nick's all of his things, or his people that follow him, about 500K, are probably bots. I can get all that. I can get that. And maybe that gives you a sense of bravado. That gives you a sense of confidence that all of these people like you. They engage with you. They think of you as sharing their views, but not necessarily true. Hold on.
It's a very Trumpian moment where you just like he just tries to.
Right? You'll say, he ambushed me with your own words.
Whoa.
With your own words.
By the way, I'm sure Nick will go on to do that. All right, let's keep it going here. Here we have Piers Morgan pressing Fuentes about being a misogynist. Let's watch.
Do you accept you are a white supremacist?
No, absolutely not.
So if you're keeping track.
Wait a minute, hold on. How is it that aren't you the one, Nick, who said, your body, my choice? Ain't you the one who said that? My body, your body, my choice. Ain't you the one who said that? Didn't you think that was misogynistic did you think that was in any way? That would put you way over the top. as being very misogynistic. That would put you forever on the wrong side of women. So why is he trying to walk this shit back? I don't understand. Why are you trying to walk this shit back? Stand on your shit, right? Stand on what you said. Stand on what you believe. Stand on you saying women are jack shit or women ain't really shit, which is what you really said. Okay? No, we didn't take it as sarcasm. I'm sorry. We didn't take it as sarcasm. We took it literally. That hurt a lot of people that he said that shit.
He's a racist.
Okay?
Yeah, because
Of Earth. Why are you mad about that? You don't like oppression? What's
Okay.
wrong with you?
Women to be
That's
treated
different.
equally before God, but you don't want to give them equal rights.
yeah, because women and
Okay,
men are
it's fine.
different.
Look,
Do you
it's your
believe there are
view.
two genders?
It's your view.
Do you think there's two genders?
I do think there are two genders, yes.
Okay, and so you mean there's distinction? There are two distinct genders.
I think we should all.
Now who's doing the low IQ Daily Wire bit? The guy who beats up on the Daily Wire all the time. Suddenly he sounds a lot like fucking Ben Shapiro.
We understand humor just fine. It was something that didn't need to be said. And it just put him into the shock jock category where we couldn't take him seriously. Sure they weren't. If you're a man, sure they weren't. Men, I love how men tell women how they feel. I love it. Over here, though, on this channel, you don't get to tell me how I feel. Just don't do that, okay?
There's actually only two genders aside in the hatred and shit.
That's just goofy.
an extremist. But even the
just
Constitution,
sloppy.
even the Constitution's been amended, was it 27 times? People
Right.
talk about this sacrosanct document. It's
Oh
like,
my-
it's been amended
Oh
27
my
times.
goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my, this is not rigorous intellectually. This is very,
Just-
this is-
just-
Because we don't take this stuff as jokes. Most people don't take that stuff as jokes. Because your president is not that funny. That's the problem. But and neither is he. And nobody knows when he's lying in the... Now everybody trying to say he was joking. No, we don't take this stuff
just a
as
statement of
Tabloid.
fact.
theology. Okay. But it's fine. Where were we? We were talking about Trump and somehow we got
on
into
Trump,
you're
look,
white
on
knighting
Trump-
for women's rights.
Well, I think women should have the same rights as you and I. You don't. That's fine.
Put on the pink hat, bro. Put on the pink hat. We're waiting.
Get it? Yeah, I'm gonna own you because you think women should be treated equally under the law. Put on the pink hat, bro. Aren't I an edgy boy? Aren't I edgy?
The for the march, for the women's march. Are we going to see you at the women's march protesting for women's rights? and
Burn! You like women? Burn!
all that.
I think women should have equal rights to men.
Right.
Period.
You carry tampons in case your female friends get a period or something.
Get it? You're a bitch. Like periods. You're a bitch.
Thing like it's crazy. The
I'd
white
have no
knighting
problem,
is
I'd have no problem
diabolical.
giving a female friend a tampon, would you? Have you ever, I don't suppose you've ever seen
See, Piers has this really dry sense of humor. And it's like he understands that he's trying to be insulting. We understand that he's trying to be insulting to Piers. Piers gets that. Piers gets all of it, right? The thing is, Nick is the one who looks petty as they're talking. Nick is the one who looks bad. Because now we see you as a misogynist. We see you as a racist. We see you as somebody who either stands on something or doesn't. We can't really tell whether you stand on anything.
a tampon, have you?
Gross. Absolutely not.
You
Get that away
think
from me.
tampons are gross?
Yeah, they're filled
Really?
with period blood. Yeah, it's kind of gross.
Wow.
Are you into that? You like that? You,
have you ever
got
seen
a lot
it?
of
I
tampons?
don't think you've ever seen it, have you?
I've seen them. I've
Oh,
seen
you
them
have?
before.
You've been that close
Yeah.
to a woman? Really?
No, I've seen them. Look, I
Oh, you've
I
seen
used to
videos?
live with
I
women,
bet
so
you've
I've seen
seen-
them around.
That's what he keeps. That's what he keeps. That's what you keep saying. That he doesn't care. Obviously, he cares. Why would you need? Why would you be filled with this much import? Why would you feel the need to explain? Okay. Because they were. Pierce had some embarrassing moments too, but Nick Fuentes had more embarrassing moments. Let's put it that way.
I bet you've seen videos, haven't you?
What? What are we doing here, Piers?
I'm not
you
sure.
really hate that.
I'm not sure,
You're
mate.
more impressed that I'm a misogynist than you are about anything. It's
Not
very
really.
revealing.
I'm actually more exercised about your blatant, self-admitted racism than I'm about
I see.
anything. But the misogyny runs a close second.
All right, now we got more. What's this one? Oh, this one. I believe this one is This is the culmination of what we just watched.
I am attracted to women.
You're not gay.
No.
Hold on there, fella. There was a little pause there. Y'all know there's that video out there, Nick with that cat boy. There's a video of him out there with that cat boy. One more time. Let's watch this pause. I put it back on normal speed. I had it on 1.25 time. Watch.
I don't think he's gay in that regard. I think he's just, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't say. I think he's a little weirdo, but, or maybe he stands on principle, and his principle is that he's not going to have sex until he gets married. Maybe that's the principle that he stands on. I heard he was like 4'11" or something crazy like that. I don't know. There could be all kind. 5'4", yes. 5'4". That's small for a man. Okay. And maybe he was a part of those generation that got beat up, got teased because they were smaller and didn't get the respect somebody big would give. It could be all kinds of things. But if you take all of these things in totality, you take all of these things together, he grew up, father had a little racism in him, and he showed that kind of to his son, showed that to Nick. Nick is small, short guy. He's just skinny. Oh, okay. 5'9". Well, 5'9" is okay. He's 5'9", growing up in Chicago, rough and tumble Chicago. Okay. You would think. But he's not trying. Who knows? Maybe he's not attracted to white women. Maybe he's attracted to something that he doesn't want to sleep with. It could be any number of things, right? Any number of things. Or it could just be that he's waiting for the right woman. It ought to be interesting. And then there's a reason why a person doesn't want to have the fulfilled experience like everybody else does. The fulfilled experience of being sexually involved with somebody like everybody else does. He wants to wait till he gets married. And normally people want to get married when they're 20s and they late 20s, early 30s. I mean, there's a backstory there. There's a story there. We don't know. His Catholic religion doesn't allow him to have sex with other people. I don't know. There's a story there. I don't know. But he thinks he's winning. So let me go.
She went to Columbia University. Well, actually, before she did that, she graduated high school. She had a project, the same pro-Israel, to write for the Jerusalem Post. Because David Ellison, the son of Larry Ellison, bought her publication. All is on my show. I have one persona where I'm an extremist and a fanatic and I'm crazy and I'm hateful. He says, and then I go on an interview and I act moderate and I pretend like I'm a moderate, sensible, reasonable person. And I act polite and I'm nice.
What do you mean he got screwed over in Boston? Oh, okay. That story that he told. That one story that he told about them finding out that he had extreme views. Hey, there are people on this planet. There are oddballs on this planet. Let's be clear. There are oddballs on this planet. It just is some oddballs on this planet. Nick seems to be one of those oddballs. Not that he's that far from mainstream, but he is far from the main, everyday, ordinary person. Because most people would have had sex by now. Most people would not have lived in the parents' basement like he did. He's an intelligent man. Why didn't he buckle down and go to college? Get away from all of this. Find him a nice girl. Build a nice life. He wants to be famous in some way, shape, or form. Why? He is not the everyday, ordinary, regular dude. He's just not. Yeah, I know he went to college. I know that. Okay.
And all this.
Yes, I'm definitely advocating for degeneracy. How the fuck did we get to that?
He says, and that's the conceit, is that I'm doing a charm offensive. I'm pretending to be a nice guy. And then when I become dictator of America, I'm going to take the mask off and become the second Hitler.
No, that's not what I think you're doing. What I think you're doing is you went so far to the right with this America first. You went so far to the right. Everything had to be America first. You got duped by Donald Trump, who you thought was America first, but he wasn't. And you were waiting to hit your star onto somebody who would embody all of your principles and all the things that you want. And you found out that Donald Trump did not embody all the things that you wanted. And you got disappointed. But you had already jumped from regular to extreme. Okay. You had already so you went back home. In college, you went back home. Okay. It's a weird dynamic. It's something behind this whole thing. But my whole premise is he didn't win as much as he thought he won in that interview. He was revealed more in that interview because now we see the actual human being behind the bullshit that he always puts up.
And I said this to Piers Morgan. I said, you know, first of all, he's a propagandist. Second of all, I said, my show is entertaining.
He's a propagandist? Piers is a propagandist? Are you serious? You're not a propagandist? You're not a propagandist? Let's be clear. This person will never go mainstream supported as a candidate or a political candidate. Never will that person do that. And I doubt very seriously he wants to sit in his basement forever. He wants to sit in his basement and not do anything beyond this. Nick is too smart to just sit in the basement and be a podcaster. You have too much going on. You have too much mental acuity for you to do that. So why is he doing this?
I do a monologue, and it's funny, and it's rambunctious, and it's provocative. I said, and then when I do an interview, I explain my views in a serious and persuasive way. I said, that's not dishonest. That's just, we speak in an indoor voice when we're inside. We speak in an outdoor.
I said he doesn't want to be a politician. I said that. You weren't listening to what I said.
Voice when we're outside. We talk to our parents one way. We talk to our male friends another way. That's just basic communication.
Right.
I said, but the last part, which is that I'm going to seize power and then become Hitler. I said, I don't even know where that comes from. That just sounds totally crazy. That just sounds like it sounds like a.
See, Nick comes across as a person that wants to be the person behind the camera. He wants to be the kingmaker. He doesn't want to be the king. He wants to be the kingmaker. He wants to be the influencer. And maybe to a certain extent he is. And maybe that was why him and Charlie butted heads so much. Charlie Kirk and him butted heads so much. Because Charlie, he could see in Charlie exactly what he wanted to be, except Charlie's message wasn't as tight or as crisp as Nick wants it to be. And this is why they butted heads, because maybe he wanted Nick to, Charlie Kirk, to be something that he would never be.
Hollywood script. Nick Fuentes becomes president. Then there's another Holocaust. I said, I'm not even going to engage with that. But.
Oh, he wants to incite others to violence, but he doesn't want to do the violent thing. Is that true? He wants to be the person that does violence. He wants others to do it for him. What a coward then. Is he a coward? Are you saying he's a coward?
He brought that up at the beginning of the interview. And the reason I say this is because in his mind, I think he thought that he was going to distill or break down the two personas. In his mind, all the other interviews, I'm being given softball questions and I'm being allowed to come across as reasonable. I'm being allowed to play the moderate and play the nice guy.
You know, dog catcher, I'm nice when I want to be, but you want me to get disrespectful with you, I will. Okay? I allow you to say whatever you want to say. You just don't insult the host. You got one shot.
And I'm doing this cynically, and the interviewer is letting me get away with it. And the public is getting this impression that I'm a really moderate guy. So in his mind, he's thinking, I'm going to play the clips from the show.
Why don't you hit the door right now? Then we don't have to be subject to it. Did you find anybody else in the chat talking stupid except you? Did you find anybody else? I hate zombies. I hate you zombies. I hate you zombies.
During the interview where he's trying to be the moderate, and he is going to have to deal with the contradiction of being a radical on the show, but attempting to appeal to a more moderate audience on my interview.
Yeah.
So he starts out with the Coleman Hughes statement like this, and then he starts playing the clips. Okay, well, what about this from your show? What about that? And I'm sure he was expecting that if he's getting interviewed, Nick, then I'm going to try to wiggle my way out of that. I'm going to try and weasel my way out and say, oh, I didn't mean that. Oh, I don't know what I said. You know, I'm going to try and do something like that. And instead, I just said, yeah, no, I agree with that clip. And I agree with it completely. And that is what caught him off guard. And I think that.
Yeah, nobody really expects people to admit that they're racist, misogynistic, all of those things. Nobody really expects people to just admit that kind of thing, right? But he admitted it. And, you know, we believe that that was a good thing. But the thing was, that made you even look, that puts you in a position. That puts you in a position, you know that, right? Somebody came to your house one time, right? So you know how that makes you, puts you in a light. And yet you take that light, instead of going all the way into the light, you want other people to be in that light for you. Maybe that's a coward's way. I don't know. I can't really tell.
The biggest moment came when he said very early on, he said, so you're racist. Are you racist?
Who cares?
And I said, yes, I am racist. Sure, I accept it. Call me a racist. And throughout the interview, I think once that happened, it was.
No. Back it up. That's not really what you presented. What you said was all people are racist. You tried to soften it up. All people are racist. All of us are racist. That's what you said. Or maybe he was trying to soften it up because he caught your father, or he put your father in the middle of it. Maybe you were trying to soften it up then. But I saw you backpedaling from the stand that you had. Because you were trying to soften it up, make it sound better. No, everybody's racist. Yeah, I got black friends. Yeah, What do you mean? I mean, why you didn't stand on it? Why you didn't say, I don't deal with niggas at all? Why you didn't say that? I don't deal with niggas at all. Then we would have really known that you would. No, but you backpedaled on that. Right? So now we can't believe what the hell you're saying. Because I looked at that. I said, oh no. Why didn't you just stand in it? You didn't stand in it. What you said was, everybody's racist. I kind of figured you would have stood in it.
Was over. Because the entire purpose of the interview is to basically say the rhetoric on your show is racist. Do you know that? The rhetoric on your show is misogynistic. Do you know that?
Right.
Do you deny that? And once I accepted it,
So why didn't you just stand in it? If somebody would have came to me and I was racist, I would have been like, yeah, I hate them niggas. I hate them niggas. If I was racist, yeah, I hate them niggas. I don't want to live around them niggas. But that ain't what you said. See? That ain't what you said.
once I accepted it and said, yes, I'm racist, I'm misogynistic. Now what? Okay, I'm racist. I don't care. I'm not ashamed. I won't even deny it. Now what? Now what do you have to say?
Now you say it with the full chest. That ain't how you said it on the show. But now you say it on the full chest. We understand that you feel like that, but you try to backpedal. No, you didn't backpedal. What you did was you sidestepped. You tried to soften it a little bit. Oh yeah, everybody's a little racist. Even black people are a little racist against other black people. No, you try to soften it up.
Okay, congratulations. You did it. He said on Twitter before, he said, we're going to give a proper examination of his views. And I knew what that meant. I knew what was coming. He said, you're racist, aren't you? Admit it. I'm like, yeah, I am. I am. Now what? And what about that? Now what? And he had nothing. And throughout the interview, he's restating it in new ways, restating it in novel ways over and over. But you see, you said you're racist earlier, but you see, you've conceded you're racist. Does the audience know, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, he is racist?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, congratulations. Congratulations, you've succeeded. Yes. And I don't know why you're so proud of yourself. I don't know why you're patting yourself on the back. This is something I've said on my show. It's something I've said in interviews.
No, he's not patting himself on the back. He's patting himself on the back that you didn't stand in your you didn't stand in your light. You didn't stand in your full-fledged light until you were dragged into it. You had to be dragged into it, though. See, there's a difference. You have to be dragged into it.
Interviews. I said it to Candace Owens' face right before I explained human biodiversity, right before I explained race and IQ. I told her, yes, I'm racist.
Right.
I said, I used to say I'm racialist. Now I just say I'm racist.
He said something about, no, I just prefer something. I prefer my kind, or he said something to that effect. Like he was softening it all up. Now I can't believe what you really say. I don't know what you really believe now.
I don't care. I said, so I don't know why you're patting yourself on the back. And once,
because now the chest is out, right? Now his chest is out. On his show, his chest is out. Your chest wasn't out like that when you were talking to Pierce. See, your chest wasn't out like that.
I said that, it was over because he had nothing. There was no moral high ground. He couldn't shame me. And there was nothing substantive to say other than to point and sputter, you're a racist, you're misogynistic. And there's a lesson in this, which is that these words and these labels, and more than that, the shame, it only has as much power over you as you give it. Now, I understand that for normal people, there's a little more to the story, because if you get called a racist, you could lose your job. You could be expelled from school. Your wife or your girlfriend might leave you. Your family might disown you. So for other people, there are complications. But for people like myself, and I consider myself an opinion maker, a tastemaker, a public intellectual, an influencer, whatever you want to say. I'm an ideas person. My job is in the realm of ideas. I don't have a regular employer. For someone like myself to say that word doesn't have power over me, I don't care. You can call me that. Once that happens.
I mean, you can only go so far with this skit. You can only go so far with this skit. And you can only go so far with this skit, right? And I get all that. I get that. But here's my thing. You really, really burnt your bridges with the people on this particular segment.
Go.
In the Holocaust. In fact, I want to play you two clips. One is where you talk about Adolf Hitler.
Hitler was a pedophile and kind of a pagan. It's like, well, he was also really fucking cool. So, time to grow up. We're not children anymore. Am I right?
But we notice that that's a younger Nick Fuentes, right? Younger Nick Fuentes, right?
Am I right? Am I right, boys? Am I right? Let's go. He was also really fucking cool.
The funniest part about that clip to me is that, like, he totally inverts reality, where he's like, we're not children anymore. No, you are, actually. Like, that's the takeaway from that clip, is it's the you're 12 theory of politics. You're 12. Oh, you think Hitler's cool? You're an edgy boy? You're 12. Like, when you're no longer a child, you go, oh yes, historical monsters are actually historical monsters.
Yeah, he's a historical monster. We get all of that. And not every person respects the fact that he was a monster to a lot of people. I get why he was a monster to a lot of people. I get all of that too. But I think it came a point where you got him on the heels of, you put him on the heels. Pierce put him on his heels with the racism thing. So Nick had to double down on this Hitler thing. He had to stand firm, because he wasn't standing firm on the racism thing. Ye is my friend. I got black friends. I got all this. Okay. So why do you have black friends if you're racist? Make no sense. Wouldn't you say, I don't want to be bothered with nobody? I don't want to touch no black people. I don't want to deal with no black people. Wouldn't that be your first thought? But that's not your first. But you said you have black friends. So how do you have black friends if you don't deal with none of those niggers? I don't deal with none of them niggas. Huh? Because you didn't stand on it. But now, with this Hitler thing, you had to stand on it, right?
And they did horrific things. And they killed millions of people. And what if the people that they killed were like, my family or me? Or how would I feel about that? How would anybody feel about that? They'd be like, oh no, this person actually is a monster. But that's the childish thing. Oh, look, bro, they're wearing the finely pressed uniforms and they're walking in unison and he's giving a speech to a bunch of people and society there is really orderly. So that's so fucking cool. It's like, okay, you're 12.
But we all know that he was a monster. We all know that Hitler was a monster. We all know that. Nick should have clarified like he meant to clarify, right?
Well, just fucking admit it.
Do you regret saying that?
Saying a fact? No, that's absolutely true.
So, by the way, not an anti-Semite, he says in this interview, but also it's a fact that Hitler's cool and I love Hitler.
You think Hitler was very fucking cool?
Yes, I do.
One of them.
And I'm tired of pretending he's not,
Well,
to be honest.
This is
Well, most people don't think he's cool. Most people have never really thought about him beyond the fact that he was a corrupt and monster, one of those people. Nobody really put it in the context of, his weapons and machinery, his uniform, nobody put it in that context. Okay. He could have said the time period was cool. He could have walked it back. No, he just he dove headfirst into it, because I believe he was trying to make up for it because he didn't stand on the racism thing.
Ooh, bro, look at you.
problem, you see. It's a bit like when you just say, I'm a racist. You're a racist, you think Hitler's cool, but you're not anti-Semitic. If you're a Jewish person watching this, what are they thinking? I'll tell you what they're thinking, because I've got a friend of mine called Danny Finkelstein, who, when he heard I was interviewing you, he's a Times journalist in the UK, very eminent.
But my question is, why did Pierce bring this person on to throw the guilt, all this guilt on it? Because none of us all have to think the same way. We don't all think the same way. We all don't want the same things. We don't all want the same person. We all don't want the same foods, experiences, etc., etc. So why would you feel the need to bring your friend on there and shame Nick? Why would you? And I get it. You wanted to shame him. But Nick is shameless. And you should have known he was going to double down, because you embarrassed him about the racism thing. His father's racism thing. You knew it was going to go from bad to worse. but we didn't know it was going to get this worse.
Journalist here and author who wrote a book about his own family's experiences at the hands of Hitler and Stalin, because you also told Tucker Carlson that you admire Stalin. But let's just take what Danny said here.
Stalin.
Hi, Piers. It's Danny Finkelstein here. As you're interviewing Nick Fuentes, you might try suggesting to him that he reads my book, Hitler, Stalin, Mum and Dad. It's called Two Roads Home in the United States. Since he says he's on Team Hitler, you might like to ask him about the fact that Hitler arrested my mum, tried to starve my mum to death, did starve my grandmother to death, sent my great aunt to the gas chamber, my great uncle, my cousin. My grandmother on my father's side ended up being one out of 7 children, the only one that survived the war. So you might ask him whether he wouldn't rather be on Team Mum rather than Team Hitler. And as for celebrating Stalin's birthday, well, Stalin took my father, sent him to a state collective farm, sent my grandmother and to a state collective farm, sent my grandfather to the Gulag. You might try asking him why he doesn't celebrate Dad's birthday rather than Stalin's. It may all be a big joke to him, but he complains that he was 18 when someone tried to cancel him. Well, Stalin and Hitler arrested my mum and my dad when they were 10 years old. So perhaps you might like to reconsider.
That's actually like...
Yeah, but I get all that. I get where you were going with that. I get all of that. And it's a horrific thing. It's very horrific. It's something that we can only imagine. We can only imagine the horror, just like we can only imagine slavery with a horror. We can only imagine those things as horrors, right? But Nick should have took his time on this one because he seemed very much callous. See, I have to take into context the fact that Nick, one, has a studio in his basement, makes his money online, celibate, not married, misogynistic, has all of these imaginations, has all of these imagined scenarios in his head about women. Where did he get this misogynistic viewpoint from women? If he's been online all of this time, he's only gotten his views from people online. He's been heavily influenced by these goofy red pill people, goofy incel people. That's the only thing I can think. Because your dad was sort of racist, but him and his wife had a relationship. Why did you learn all of these negative things about women? Except online. Okay? Except online. That's the only place you could have did it. So you don't have any experience with any women. I'm pretty sure you haven't gotten naked with one. I'm pretty sure you haven't been feeling any of them up. You haven't groped any. So you haven't been close to a woman at all. You haven't had a conversation at all with a woman, a real woman that you were actually interested in. So I can't take his misogynist viewpoint seriously. Okay? I can't take that viewpoint seriously because real people are different from people online. People online say bullshit all the time. They say bullshit all the time. You cannot, I don't listen. When I turn the screen off, the square off, I don't think of anybody on here because you have nothing to contribute to what I do in real life. And as far as I'm influenced, I knew right away when I got online 2 years ago. I got online 2 years ago. I showed up here 2 years ago. I knew instantly that people were brainwashed on this place. Brainwashed. Because I ran into too many men saying the same thing that Nick is saying. Even men who had sex. This is nuts. So his views are colored. And it's all mixed up into religion. And you being mixed up in religion makes you even more of an oddball because now you're being programmed by a book. And how much of your thoughts are actually your own? How influential this book, these stuff, how influential has this online persona been to you? You decided that you were going to be, you decided you were going to be racist. You decided you were going to be misogynistic. You decided in order for you to have been deplatformed all the way around, that meant there's a mental thing going on. There's a mental thing going on. To me, there's something mental going on there, right? Just to me. I think, there might be a small screw loose somewhere.
Super devastating. He's like, you bitch and whine and moan about like being debanked and not allowed on a plane when you were 18. These were children kidnapped at 10 and fucking murdered. Which one is the bigger injustice?
See, that's the reality of your jokes, although I haven't ascertained
Look
yet
at this fucking petulant child's face. Look at this.
whether you are joking when you say that Hitler was very fucking cool. Are you joking, or do you actually think he was very fucking cool? The most
He was
genocidal
cool.
monster of the last 150 years.
Yeah, the thing is, my generation, we're just done with the pearl clutching.
No. Let's not do this. My generation. You're speaking for nobody but yourself and your fucking groypers, okay? And by the way, there was a poll that came out. Nick Fuentes' approval rating in the United States is 6%.
Ouch. 6%? 6%? No, there's a lot of you motherfuckers that are hiding. There's a lot of you groper bitches hiding somewhere. It's a lot of you groper bitches hiding. Because I know there's plenty of y'all that believe what the fuck Nick's saying. You don't go as extreme as he do, but Nick started to pull out that white boy victimhood, and you guys fell into that. Oh man, black and immigrants, people are coming to take our jobs and take our cities and take our places and take our women. We got to fight back. You will not replace us. You will not replace us. I remember hearing that. Yeah, that's that white male victimhood. That white man victimhood.
Granted, 61% don't even know who the fuck he is, but of the people who know who he is, he has a 6% approval rate. Don't do this shit. I'm the voice of a generation. No, you're not. You're the voice of yourself, okay? By the way, I'm also not the voice of a generation. I'm not. I'm a voice for myself. Don't do this. My generation is done. Who the fuck are you? Who are you? You're a fucking Rumble streamer. And by the way, we're going to do a story tomorrow. A lot of his audience is fucking botted from fucking India and Nigeria and Pakistan. What? There was a report that just came out on that. Right. Okay? So don't give me this, my generation's over it. You're not the fucking voice of your generation. In fact, if you look at the polling data, Gen Z now, especially this moment right now, they're very similar to the politics of millennials. They may even be a little further left than millennials. So tell me how the furthest left generation is somehow in agreement with you as a Nazi? Fuck out of here.
Fuck out of here. If you're black, no. Sorry, Sylvester. Silver Star Duster. Sorry. Racism is alive and well. Alive and well. You all, the Republican Party proved that. It proved that a couple weeks ago. That it's alive and well. I don't know where you get this dead from.
Yeah, but then your generation hasn't gone through what Danny Finkelstein's family went through. So yeah. maybe the pearl clutching has a way to go for families whose.
Well, you know what, dog catcher? When we hear white men say, we need to reverse that civil rights stuff. That civil rights stuff is discriminating against me. Charlie Kirk, that civil rights stuff is discriminating against me. Then that is white victimhood. That's that white victimhood shit. How is it that this country was built for you? How is this world built for you? United States built for you. White male. How is it built for you? And you the motherfucking victim. How you the motherfucking victim and this world is built for you? It wasn't built for white women. It wasn't built for black men. It was built for white men. So how the hell is it that you the victim? But Charlie Kirk played that fucking card very well. Oh, shit, we need to get rid of civil rights. Civil rights is taking away my rights. Affirmative action, that's taking away my rights. Yeah, that white victim mentality bullshit. This is the shit Nick is trying to display. We gonna see it.
Family members.
Oh my gosh!
murdered.
Yeah, We got all that. We, you know, me mom, like we're, you know, I don't even know who this person is. Why is this person talking to me? This old British guy is saying me mom got killed by Hitler. And
He
me
doesn't
dad
find
got
it
killed
funny
by...
when you say Hitler's very fucking
I don't
cool.
care.
He finds
I don't
I know
care.
you don't care. That's fine. You don't have to care. But he does care.
Does that guy care about America? Does that guy care about me and my country and my family? No.
He cares what you,
that's
a
the
prominent
problem.
conservative in America.
He should care about this rich Nazi streamer doing well. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, that's that white fragility shit. that white fragility. Charlie Kirk was good with that white fragility shit. It was what it was.
Has to say about Adolf Hitler. And what do you mean by Hitler is very fucking cool? Because I think he's very fucking a monster.
Okay.
Jenna Talley, if you ain't black, don't tell me what he said about a black woman. Don't tell me what he said about a black woman. Period. If you ain't a black woman, don't talk to me about no black, what he didn't say and he did say. I know what he said about women like me. So don't tell me he wasn't racist. I'm happy for you, Blinds Matt. I'm happy for y'all. Black exhaustion. I'm happy for you.
And that's a clip.
And we tired of this kind of garbage from you fucking people under the age of 40. This millennial, whatever the fuck y'all the age range is, we tired of this garbage shit that's going on. That's what Piers is saying. We're tired of this garbage shit that you all are putting out here. We know plenty about Charlie Kirk. Stop it. We know plenty.
I think he's very fucking a monster. Do you hear yourself?
Yeah,
I mean,
do.
can we all grow up?
I do.
No, that obviously that needs to be said because you think Hitler is really fucking cool. Don't act like, oh, you look at you being a social justice warrior, virtue signaling about how much you hate Hitler. Well, apparently that needs to be done because you fucking like Hitler, right? If we lived in a world where people understood this guy's a fucking monster and we can move on, it wouldn't have to be said. But the fact that you are trying to bring back the image and rehabilitate the image, and you got 6% of the country agreeing with you,
right,
and that becomes a fucking problem, doesn't
right,
it? And people actually do have to start calling out his bullshit again.
Right. Your shit does have to be called out. Your shit has to be called out because it's not a mainstream thought pattern. But he's trying to make it a mainstream thought pattern. And then Pierce is trying to bring out, that it's bullshit because you got 10 other things that go along with your bullshit. Nobody wants to deal with all of those 10 things that you want to put into this whole thing. You want people to be in polite society, but you can't control yourself. Okay? You can't do it.
And your bullshit. Right? Jesus Christ.
We all grow
He
up.
murdered
That
12
is just
million people.
childish.
No, what's child?
Let's be clear, Bill Desmet. Let's be clear. Don't put me in your category. Don't put me in your category. Don't put me in your category. Okay? That's your category. That's not my category. Okay? I don't get gaslit. I don't get gaslit like you all get gaslit by your crappy president. I don't get gaslit. You don't get to say X, Y, and Z, and I believe it. It doesn't work like that. Okay?
Childish is you're accusing them of virtue signaling. What's childish is you're vice signaling, which is worse. At least if you're virtue signaling, maybe the thing that they're actually advocating for at its core is virtuous.
Sure.
Whereas your shit is genuinely a vice.
Sure, yeah.
Like you love the biggest monsters in human history. That's a bit of a problem. That's
Right.
a bit of a problem. And that fucking sucks more than virtue signaling. Vice signaling is worse than virtue signaling.
Murdered 12 million
Okay.
people. What is very fucking cool about that?
Right.
Tell me.
The edits, it's just cool. The uniforms, the parades,
So now notice he retreated a little bit. The uniform.
Yeah, of course he retreated. He came across as unhinged. And that's why I say he was not winning, because Pierce put him back on his ass a couple times. He wanted to come across as I'm that beating my chest. But you didn't do that. That wasn't how it came across. It came across as somebody who was retreating from their thoughts. When you get on your own platform, you say X, Y, and Z, but you get into this interview and it's something else. Right. This is the trash that I got on that keep coming to my damn chat. This is the trash. Get your trash ass out of here. Get your trash ass out of here. Wild.
The parades. This is like when Alex Jones said to Kanye, when Kanye said he loved Hitler, Alex Jones goes, "Oh, you mean the uniforms, right? The Hugo Boss uniforms are very finely pressed. They look good. That's what you're talking about, right?" And Ye, in his schizophrenic honesty, was like, "No, I fucking love Hitler." He was like, "No, don't try to bail me out here. I'm gonna stand 10 toes down." Here's Nick retreating under pressure.
I can't help it. They mad that they boy got knocked on his heels. I said, you seen the thumbnail. You got knocked on your heels. If you're defending, you ain't winning. And that's all he was doing was defending. He wasn't winning. Okay? I'm sorry you feel like he was winning, but that's not how that goes. Okay? He can be as racist as he want to. Stand your ground. Stand 10 toes down. But he didn't stand 10 toes down. He started making excuses for it. He started backing off of it. Okay? Then when they brought the Nazi shit up, then he started to say, okay, I got to stand 10 toes down on this Nazi shit. And that's what he did. And it made him look even more crazy, standing on the Nazi shit. Okay? If he would have stood on the racist shit and said, yeah, I can't stand them niggas. People would have been like, okay, sometimes I say that shit in my head too. And then he could have retreated on that Nazi shit, and people would have been like, oh, okay, he ain't that damn crazy. But no, he fucked up because he backpedaled on the black stuff, on the nigga stuff, and then he stood 10 toes down on the Nazi stuff. That made him look even more crazy.
Oh, no. Yeah, it is just about the uniforms and the parades. Really, Nick? Really? It's not the politics? I think it's the fucking politics.
It's cool as a guy. You look at World War II, and it's fascinating, and it's interesting, and it's compelling, and it's cool. And, we're just tired of saying these kinds of things. We want to talk like real people and give our honest opinions. And then we literally get an old Jewish guy from England who's going to say, oh, that's not very funny, mate. Me mom. And it's like, shut up. Like,
how about you fucking shut the fuck up? How about you shut the fuck up? I read something in the past that it's inevitable that we get the next world.
Yeah, but you don't get to say everything you want to say. That's not how the world works. That's what people don't get. That's not how the world works. You don't get to say your consequences. When you have the consequences, you have to take those. Nick stood on half of the shit he said, and he got banned from the world. Okay? He got banned from the world. So now he's trying to be mainstream, not particularly all the way mainstream, but he's trying to be mainstream to a certain extent. But the thing is, now we think he's wishy-washy. Okay? Now we think he's wishy-washy with what he did here.
The war, after everybody who experienced the horrors of the previous World War, after they die off, because people forget just how atrocious and horrible war is, right? And Nick Fuentes is the fucking perfect encapsulation of that, like, stuck-up, snooty-ass elitist who's, like, can't conceptualize how horrific genocide is and murder is and war is. Meanwhile, he virtue signals like he's anti-war. Then he supported war and regime change in Venezuela. You're the fucking problem. Spare me this shit. God, I can't stand this.
No one is in favor of genocide, so let's just get that out of the way.
Oh, is that so, Nick? So then why do you suck off Hitler on your show on a fucking weekly basis? I can't believe anybody would think I'm pro-genocide. All I do is talk about how fucking cool Hitler is. What a fucking gaslighting prick.
Not in favor of a Holocaust or genocide.
But I'm confused. You all gotta explain this shit to me. Cause somebody said in the chat, white people don't face the consequences. No. Other races don't face the consequences. They get slaps on the wrist. Like what? Like what? What don't you get to say in this world? What don't you get to say in this world? I'm confused. Is this that white victim mentality shit he talking about? You see that? There it is right there. It's on full display, that white victimhood shit that Charlie Kirk was saying. Okay? This is the white victimhood shit that Charlie Kirk was talking about. This has got to be what it is. We white, we can't say everything we want to say. We got to be quiet. So this is white victim shit. Fuck. That's wild.
Do you think if half
It's
your
80
family
years ago.
you think if half your family had been wiped out by very fucking cool Hitler, you'd still think he was very fucking?
You need to explain to me what the fuck the guy who killed the woman on the train got to do with what we're talking about. Please explain. What the fuck are you talking about? Y'all need to stick on topic. We ain't talking about somebody killing somebody. Stop it. Did nobody think nothing about putting a bullet in Charlie Kirk's fucking neck?
Fucking cool.
Think this is something different from the dude on the train? It ain't nothing different about the dude on the train.
Or would you think that actually he was a despicable monster who murdered 12 million people, who targeted people because they were disabled or Jewish or Romani Gypsy or whatever it may be, and that he systematically destroyed people, incinerated them in gas chambers? Do you think that you would find it very fucking cool if your family had been through that? Or do you think you would find it very fucking disgusting? And perhaps moderate the number of times you laugh about it or want to joke about it or want to abuse someone like Danny Finkelstein, who's written incredibly powerful books about what happened to his extended family at the hands of the Nazis and your other hero, Stalin. See, my point to you, Nick Fuentes, is that in parts of this interview, you try to come across as moderate, but every now and again, the mask slips. And it slipped again here with what you say about Hitler.
He's laughing because he knows it's right. He's laughing because he knows it's accurate.
There's nothing very fucking cool about Hitler. We know that from history now. We know what he did.
So now it's a game. It's a game. Now it's a game. That's what it is for Nick. It's a game, right? Because we know we can't trust whatever you say. At least I can't. I don't trust people who like this. You backpedal on shit that you say. You don't stand firm on what you say. Okay? But you backpedal. I don't trust a person like this. The Charlie Kirk video got scrubbed from the internet. Tony Tigress is one of them. She's one of them. She or he or whoever. They one of those zombies. You can't tell zombies nothing. You Rick, you ain't no sense in arguing with zombies. The first thing out of her mouth was 34 fake felonies. You already know they're a zombie.
You've already conceded that he murdered at least 6 million Jews.
And by the way, for the guy, Nick likes to pretend and virtue signal every now and then. In this instance, he actually is virtue signaling that I'm against Netanyahu because he's doing a genocide. So like Netanyahu acting like Hitler is bad, but Hitler acting like Hitler is really fucking cool. Make that make sense.
So when you say he's very fucking cool, Jewish people watch this and go, this guy's disgusting. Why would he say this about someone who perpetrated such an evil? And what's the real answer? Why do you? Is it just for clicks? Is it for money? Is it just for fun? For shits and giggles? What is it? What motivates you to say something like Hitler was very fucking cool?
It's for this. It's for all of this. And the lack of self-awareness is amazing.
And when he said this, all of this, what he meant was all the uproar, all the embarrassment, all the right self-righteousness. He meant all the shit that Piers was showing. That's what he meant. For this, for your outraged behavior, for the audience's whole outraged behavior. Of course I'm going to say that. Hey, I'm going to get clicks and views. I'm going to be all on Nick. Everybody talking about me. Of course he did it for the views. Maybe you got some fans, and I don't know what fans you would have got, because you wouldn't have got no fans other than these other red pill haters and fucking disgusting human beings and all those other people, but maybe it was worth it to you. I don't know.
You're a boomer. You're a 60-year-old boomer, and we spent maybe 3 minutes on you.
Yeah, he's playing Pierce right here. Yeah, he's really playing Pierce right here.
Saying he's a really fucking monster. He incinerated people. And I'm sitting here saying it's not that serious. It's not that deep. And
actually, it is the most serious thing, the most deep thing, which is why everybody rightly is losing their mind over Netanyahu genociding Palestinians in Gaza. And you yourself have pretended to care about that very issue, even though other times you admit you don't care. It's only for strategic reasons that you talk about it. It's actually the most serious, the most deep, the most important issue. What's more serious and deep than fucking mass murder on a grand scale? The extermination or attempted extermination of an entire people.
Hey, ain't they doing that over there in Gaza?
I don't know how anybody could be a fucking fan of this guy. This is fucking putrid. By the way, there's also some hilarious parts. Well, listen to this part.
Because they're a fan of Nick Fuentes because they feel like Nick Fuentes is speaking for them. It's that white male victim mentality. I gotta figure out that white male victim mentality bullshit. Because only somebody who thinks they're victims would be thinking about this particular shit. They're gonna replace us at the end of the interview. They're gonna replace us. We're getting replaced by these immigrants.
I get a lot of attacks when I talk about that I'm against interracial marriage. And what's funny is that every other group is against interracial or interethnic marriage. Jews,
But you're the
Chinese,
product of an
Hispanics.
interracial marriage.
Yeah, I mean, that's debatable. And
Not
let's say
really.
for the sake of
Not
argument,
really.
sure.
No, you're the product of an interracial marriage, and your father is part Mexican. You're literally,
For the sake of
you're
argument,
literally
we
the
can
very
say sure.
person you've just told me you want to avoid.
What race is Hispanic? Is that a race?
Well, what do you think it is?
I'm asking you, what race is Hispanic?
Hispanic. Of course it's a race. It's called Hispanic.
Oh my God, bro. Oh my God. I think I have more from that exact same back and forth. Here we go.
What race is Hispanic? Is that a race?
Well, what do you think it is?
I'm asking you, what race is Hispanic?
Hispanic. Of course it's a race. It's called Hispanic.
It's a mix between two races. It's a mix between indigenous Americans
not
and
white.
Europeans.
Yeah, it's some. I think a screw loose is somewhere. I can't prove it, but I think a screw is loose somewhere. You know, and people who follow my. But then again, most people follow people. Most human beings follow people. They say one thing that you agree with, and then everything else becomes acceptable. Most people know that what Hitler did is not acceptable. Yeah, Hispanic is ethnicity. I get that too. There's only 3 races. But most people follow along because somebody says something they like, and then they got to have somebody to agree with them, and they got to be X, Y, and Z. I get all of that too. And I think this is what happened to Nick Fuente. He got on here, got radicalized. He honed his kid. He's a very intelligent guy. He figured out X, Y, and Z. But see, I thought you were what your parents were. He presents as white. Well, he's just like them fucking Cuban people in motherfucking goddamn Florida. He's just like them. Just like them. They present as white, so they think they white. It is what it is, man.
Yes.
So Nick, watch this. Ready? Magic trick. Loophole. Somehow I'm grandfathered in. My racism is okay.
Nobody's going to jail, Tony Tiger. Shut your ass up. You don't know what you're talking about.
And somehow I'm grandfathered in. See, I'm one of the good ones named Fuentes with a part Mexican dad.
Has nothing to do with Letitia James. Stop grasping at straws. Come on.
All the stuff I say doesn't count about me. It doesn't mean I'm low IQ. It doesn't mean I'm prone to violence. It means you are. If you're brown, if you're black, yours doesn't count. Mine counts. I'm with the team I like.
Right.
Mighty fucking convenient, isn't it, Nick?
It's not white.
Well, you're more of a racial purist than me. You got like
Not
a
really. You just keep saying you only want to live in a
white.
white neighborhood, but you're literally from a mixed race background yourself. You've literally
and
got
I live in
Mexican blood.
I know, and I live in a non-white neighborhood too. I'm trying to get out of here, though. But I'm trying to get out. But here's the
Well, why would you need to get out why would you need to get out? You make it sound like you don't care for where you stay at, and you're what? I don't. Yeah. Wow. Who knows?
Do you have any
So are you inferior? Should you have fewer rights? Should you not be allowed political power? Should you not be allowed to make a lot of money because of the fact that you're a mixed breed? You're not a pure breed. You're a mutt. Because this is the sort of shit that your ideology logically flows from your fucking ideology. This is the sort of shit.
white? Do you have any non-white friends? Genuine question.
most of my friends are non-white. Most of my friends are not, and non-white people love my
Hitler rolling over in the grave. That a closeted Mexican twink who loves cat boys is now carrying his mantle.
show.
How many are black?
Honesty.
How many of your friends are black?
Many of them, like
Many
at least a
of them.
dozen.
Wow.
But if you were really a racist, you wouldn't have any black friends. You couldn't stand them niggas. That's the first thing you would say. I can't stand them niggas. Because he's not right, because he's on a grift. He's on a grift. And I can't stand people who be on a grift. Because you have black friends, because you're friends with Ye, you're friends with Sneeko, you're friends with these black people. It's just some black people. Some. That's what you should say. Some of y'all ghetto and ratchet as hell. But I got some good black friends that I like. Some of y'all ratchet as hell, but some of y'all ain't. Some of y'all I get along with, I'm fine with. But yet and still, you got degenerates like him. All black people should be in jail. And he asked him, he said, do you think all black people should be in jail? He said, not necessarily. Then what the fuck do you stand on then? What the fuck you stand on? You don't stand on no racism. Because it's a grift. It's a shock jock thing. Some of y'all on this internet just trash. Some of y'all content creators just trash for this shit.
Oh, Ye being one who you know, Sneeko being another who you also know.
Yeah. So how do they feel?
Self-haters? Is that what that is?
When you say you just want to be away from any black people, walk away from them.
Well, you know what Ye told me? I'll tell you verbatim what he said. He said, so you use the N-word. I said, yeah. He goes, well, when niggas are being niggas. I said, so true. That's so true. So they feel like they're in complete agreement with me.
What does that mean?
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right. Then we have this one where
that's just wild.
They talk about the number of people murdered.
It's all a part of the spectacle. So we can't believe you. I can't believe you because all throughout this interview, he's denouncing that hardcore. I don't want to be around them niggas. Because if you really, really, really are racist, you'd be like, I don't want to be around none of them niggas. None of them niggas. He said, hey, Nick, do all black people deserve to go to jail? He said, no, not necessarily, no. Oh, hey, Nick, do you have any black friends? Yeah, I got a lot of friends. I got a couple of friends. Blah, blah, blah. You wouldn't have anything to do with no black people. You wouldn't have anything to do with no black people if you for real, if you really was racist like you say you are. Because now that's not how I know you grifting. Now I know you grifting. Okay. Now I know you grifting.
In the Holocaust
by the Nazis. It's been said that you believe no more.
Or you're trying to clean it up so you can be acceptable to a lot of people. It's one or two.
More than several 100,000 have been killed. And I'm going to play you this clip.
What Charleston rally? Oh, that rally, you will not replace me rally? Wow. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing, let me get this straight. There's nothing wrong with you saying you want to, you only want to deal with white people because you're white. You only want to sleep with white people. You only want to be married to white people. You want to make sure that you have your white race continues on. There's nothing wrong with that. But just because you want to be that way doesn't mean you have to be a racist too. Because there's plenty of people who want to preserve their race. There's plenty of people who want to preserve their black race, their white race. There's nothing wrong with that. But why would you need to come over here and say, I hate black people? I need to preserve I hate black people. I need to preserve my whiteness. You don't need to say I hate black people for you to be preserved as the whiteness, in the whiteness. And my thing is, you're Mexican. You have Mexican. You got Mexican in you. But it's okay for you to say the things that you're saying about Hispanic people. I just don't understand. Why you got to be grifting so hard?
People talk about, well, what about the gas chambers? Well, to the extent that that's real, I find that hard to believe, but to the extent that's real, there have been atrocities committed and genocides committed in all times and all places. Let's acknowledge
what female hates white women that take black men from them. What women, y'all talking crazy in the chat. That's wild.
Why Hitler casts the long shadow. Because that confers a political benefit upon Jews. That's why. It doesn't really sound correct to me. Wait a second. It takes 1 hour to cook a batch of cookies, and you have 15 ovens, probably in 4 different kitchens, right? Doing 24 hours a day, every day for 5 years. How
he look like that. He looked like he's a incel. He looked small. No matter how you paint it, Tony, no matter how you paint it, it ain't gonna never be what you want it to be. Don't hate. There ain't nothing on this planet, man, woman, not black, white, Hispanic, ever. Let's be clear. I ain't never had no problem getting men, and never worried about what another woman got. Never, because she could never take any man from me. Never. So let's be clear that I ain't one of them who concern myself about men. Men come along like buses, so it don't matter. Sure I do. Y'all wild. Josh Newton, you wild. You wild.
How long would it take you to make 6 million? I don't know. It certainly wouldn't be 5 years, right? The math doesn't seem to add up there.
You think that's funny?
It's funny. It's amusing what you're doing because, that one was a joke. But do you want to talk seriously about the Holocaust?
Oh, yeah. Oh, it was a joke. He actually seriously believes the numbers are correct. I'm sure.
He does. He believes that 15 million Jews gonna replace all of these white folks. That's crazy. That's why you're single. Do y'all see this dumb shit right here? That's why you're 65 single with 20 cats talking to the internet. That's wild. That's wild. Just say it. I won't even attempt. I can't. You wish you were married as long as I've been married. You wish you were.
I do, because I just find it extraordinary that you would think the Holocaust could ever be something that we could joke about.
Why, too soon? Is it too soon?
See, it's moments like that his idiot followers will clap like seals and be like,
He said, wait a minute, hold on. He said, they're replacing us. Wait a minute, what did he say? Hold on.
I find that hard to believe, but to the extent that's real, there have been atrocities committed and genocides committed in all times and all places. Let's acknowledge why Hitler casts the long shadow.
Why?
Because that confers a political benefit upon Jews. That's why.
It doesn't really sound correct to me. Wait a second. It takes 1 hour to cook a batch of cookies, and you have 15 ovens.
Yeah, I was married for over 30 years. 30 plus years. Okay? So I kind of know what I'm talking about.
Probably in 4 different kitchens, right? Doing 24 hours a day, every day for 5 years. How long would it take you to make 6 million? I don't know. It certainly wouldn't be 5 years, right? The math doesn't seem to add up there.
You think that's funny?
Yeah.
It's funny. It's amusing what you're doing because, that one was a joke. But do you want to talk seriously about the Holocaust?
It was a joke. He actually seriously believes the numbers are correct.
Yeah, he believes it.
I do, because I just find it extraordinary that you would think the Holocaust could ever be something that we could joke about.
Why, too soon?
He said too soon. Nick, you so ignorant. You so ignorant sometimes, I swear. Look at Pierce's face like you bitch motherfucker. But he's funny, but you doing it for shock. Now I know you're in this for shock. That's all.
Is it too soon?
See, it's moments like that his idiot followers will clap like seals.
Yes, it was until my husband died a couple years ago. Yes, I was. Till he died. Otherwise, I'd still be married. Josh Newton, bitch ass motherfucker.
And be like, fucking Nick owned him, bro.
To make jokes?
How many people do you think died in the Holocaust? How many Jewish people?
I don't know. I'm thinking maybe 7 million. What's the number?
Right.
7, 6 million, something like that.
So
8 million?
You concede that 6 million Jews died in the Holocaust.
Wow.
Possibly more. Possibly, we're discovering all the time. So it could maybe even be more than that.
So why have you doubted the numbers in the past?
Piers is being autistic as fuck here. He's playing with you. He's trolling. He's playing with you. He'd go, of course I believe the numbers. Maybe it's not 6. Maybe it's 7 million. Maybe it's 8 million. Maybe it's 10 million. Maybe it's more. He's playing with you.
Right.
He's playing with you because he doesn't actually believe what the numbers are. All right, and then finally, look, we'll end on this one. I mean, I could have watched the whole fucking 2-hour thing and went, line for line, but I'm not gonna bore you guys with all that. But this is actually, to me, this is the most telling part of the entire interview. Why?
The SPLC, they're literally counting down the days until whites are a minority in America. So forgive me if I don't believe them.
But see here, let's be clear. Let's be clear on this. What difference does it make whether you want to have a pure white race or not? The inevitable change comes. That is the one thing you cannot predict. The only thing you can predict is your life. The only thing you can control is what you do. You can't control other people who might not worry, other white people who might not worry about whether they got mixed kids in them, because your parents didn't worry about mixing in the Mexican and Italian and all that. My whole point is, why are you worried about a pure white race when it's not going to be a pure white race in 25, 30 years? It's something that you can't stop. Now you all worked up about a pure white race. Something you can't do nothing. You can't change it. You can't do nothing. And he not helping none of the race. It ain't like you looking for a wife to start like Elon with his retarded ass having 10, 15, 20 goddamn kids. It ain't like you, Elon. You ain't trying to have a whole bunch of kids, are you? Nick is the one who's concerned about a pure white race.
When they talk about compassion, there's a genocide going on right now. It's not against the Jews.
How many Christians are there?
In Gaza, it's against
How many
whites.
Christians are there in the world? Like me,
1 point some billion,
Yeah,
2 billion.
How many Jews are there?
15 million.
Okay. So with a straight face, you're going to tell me the world is being overrun by the Jewry, by 15 million people, when there are over 1 billion Christians. There is a genocide of Christians like poor old Nick Fuentes going on at the hands of these 15 million Jews. Really?
See, this attitude is why you're losing. When you say
Who am I losing to?
white people,
Who
these
am I losing to?
white people.
Who am I losing to?
You're seeing it. Mass migration. You're losing to me. We are losing as a civilization of mass migration. And here's the difference. In Israel, they have my politics. In Israel, they want to maintain a Jewish majority. If they had it their way, it would only be Jewish people. They're fighting like hell so that Jewish people can have as much territory, a Jewish state. They can be proudly Jewish in their own land. Whereas in America, we are being besieged.
That ain't what we talking about, 79 Bronco, trash ass white boy. That ain't what we talking about. Is it?
By 10 million illegal immigrants in 4 years. And then whites and Christians are going to be the minority. And that's true in Canada, Australia, all the countries in Europe. So you can say that
you can't change that you're going to be a minority. It just is what it is. You said it yourself. You're going to be a minority. Deal with the fact that you're going to be a minority and live for today. This is what I don't like about people who worry about 10, 20, 30, 40. I understand that you want to have a pure white race. Stop worrying about what the fuck I want to do if I'm a white person. Not all white people give a fuck one way or the other. Worry about your square. That's all you got to do is worry about your square. Why is he worried about everybody else's square besides his own? There's something about him that says he ain't out there trying to have kids like degenerate Elon Musk. He ain't married. He ain't got no kids. He ain't had no sex. He in the basement. He hate women. How the hell you gonna get started on trying to produce your race? You're trying to replicate your race. I would think if you so concerned about your family and white race and and reproducing white blood, you would be out there fucking like 40 going north so you could have 10, 20 kids. But why you ain't doing that? So you can't be that goddamn concerned about your white race if you're not out there trying to have children with a woman. Get married, have 10, 20 of them goddamn kids. And then they're all married, all have the same last name, all X, Y, and Z. But he not worried about that. He ain't trying to get married. He ain't trying to deal with no woman. He not trying to do all that. What the fuck are you talking about? Why are you worried about other people why are you worried about other white people? Worry about your fucking square. If you want to contribute to the white race, go find you a blonde-haired, blue-eyed Becky and start fucking and having 10, 20, 30, 40 fucking kids. This is why I know it's a fucking grift with him. Because he could have been done did it. This is wild. Just to watch him in real time explode. Wild.
There's 2 billion people, but what's the proportionality? What is the percentage of people being born that are white? Where's the arrow pointing? Where are we going to be in 50 years? In 50 years, there might be an Israel. In 50 years, there isn't going to be a white Christendom.
So it's very important you understand what he's saying there. What he's saying there is, in Israel, they have my politics. I have their politics here, in this context, in the U.S. So all of the shit he says, going after Netanyahu, going after Israelis and Zionists, and in his case, he'll just flat out say Jews, right?
Right.
All the issues he has about Israel being a fucking ethno-state, a supremacist ethno-state, trying to create a greater Israel, stealing more land, stealing land from Gaza, stealing land from the West Bank, wiping out the Palestinians, right? Every issue that he has, he's just jealous. He's just like, I want to do that here in the name of white Christians, which is, again, ironic because he's part Mexican. So by your own standard, get the fuck out of my country,
right,
bitch. Get out of my country, right? I actually am a white Christian. I would fit here more than you would, right? But he's admitting, I have the same politics of Israel. I have Netanyahu's politics. I have Ben-Gvir's politics. I have Smotrich's politics.
Right.
I want an ethno-state. Well, again, the end logic of an ethno-state, it's anti-democracy, it's anti-secularism, it's supremacist and expansionist by its very nature.
Right.
So he's admitting, actually, I'm not against genocide. I'm not against genocide. So all the shit he talks about how horrible Israel is for doing the genocide, he's just like, I'm jealous. I wish we could do that here in the name of white Christians.
Right.
That's what I want.
Right.
You know, at the very least, he wants to fucking just kick out everybody who's black or brown and make it a white majority Christian country and maybe codify it into law.
Right.
Have Catholic Taliban rule, as he's literally said.
Mm-hmm.
But this is an incredible admission because his own people, his own audience, fucking hates Israel.
Right.
They hate Israel and everything they stand for. But here's Nick saying, I am jealous. I want Israel's politics here. So why wouldn't you also not just hate Israel, but hate Nick and his politics? Because he wants what they fucking have and what they're doing right now.
Right.
So to me, that's incredibly telling. But great job here from Piers Morgan. I think he did a phenomenal job.
I think he did I think Piers Morgan did a good job exposing the grift. I think it's a grift. I think he had to evolve into whatever he thinks, and he had to fine tooth it, pull it together like he did. I don't think he believes this.
Happens, it's like a spell is broken, and the rest of it followed suit. So that's in the first place. I also want to talk about that whole approach, because what was really interesting to me, and we could go over some of the greatest hits. I'm sure we'll hear about it in the super chats, but I'm assuming you've all seen it or you've seen the viral clips. What was interesting to me about the interview is that he seemed to think in the middle of it, before, during, and after the engagement, that he was winning. Because during the interview, he kept saying, well, the audience is going to judge. Well, the viewers at home will decide. Thinking in his mind that they're eating this up, that the audience at home is folding their arms and saying, well, he's done it. Piers got him to admit he's racist. Well, that's it. That's all we need to see. It's over. I don't need to hear anymore. He's racist, and that's all I needed to hear. That's it.
And you know what? You see, I didn't take any of that. I didn't take any of those. I didn't get any of those takes. I got, you feel as though you're more, to me, it feels like you're more of a grifter than you did before I started watching you. Grifter as in your beliefs are not as strong as you say they are. Because you're not as racist as you say you are. Maybe you are, but not as much as you say you are. Not as much as you saying the hard ER when you feel like saying the hard ER. Because I know all the white boys want to say hard ER. And the white girls want to say hard ER. I get all that. But I think you're somewhat of a grifter. Not saying you're not racist. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is you're doing it for the gram, as they say. There you go. Doing it for the gram. And you got to keep that up. Because otherwise, why would you get deplatformed all over the place and you don't keep the grift going? Then it would have been all for nothing. Okay? Then it would have been all for nothing. No, I'm not trying to minimize his racism, not at all. I'm saying he's racist. I'm saying I believe he's not as racist as he keeps telling people that he is. Because at every turn, he backed down from it. At every turn, he backed down. Are you racist? Are you really that racist? Yes, I'm racist. Yes, I am. Wait a minute, you got black friends? Oh, yeah, I got black friends. Yeah, yay. And I got, why would you have black friends like that? Real Christian nationalists don't have black friends like this. They don't have black friends. All them niggas is over there. That's what they say. All them niggers are over there. That's the way they put it. So I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I believe you want a nationalist society where there's a lot of whites. Whites are always in control. X, Y, and Z. Right? But I don't believe you believe. Yeah, Candace Owens, Officer Tatum, all them good, the twins, all of them. All of them. Okay? All of them. It is what it is. So Nick Fuentes thought he won.
And so during the interview, he kept falling back on this. Well, the audience can decide. It's sort of smugly. And even after the interview on Twitter is treating it like this was some grand victory. But if you looked at the comments, all the comments on Instagram, on X, on YouTube.
So you read all the comments. So Nick, you read all the comments? I wouldn't have read all the comments. He's not as racist according to the real definite. Yeah, that's right. He might be racist. He might have implicit biases against black folks, but he ain't all the way racist. Okay. He ain't that Christian nationalist, get your black ass out of here. Otherwise we gonna take your head off racist. Right?
YouTube, they're all positive. People thought it was funny. People said I was logical. People said they found themselves agreeing with me.
So he went through all the comments to read the comments. What the hell going on?
Or if they disagreed, they said they didn't find me all that extreme. They said that Piers was being dishonest and malicious. They said he's a liberal boomer. They said some of what he said was ridiculous, that he was angry. And I think there's sort of a corollary to this, which is I have been pushing this message for 10 years. And I have been dealing with hostile interviews like this for just as long. And I have been dealing with these clip shows for just as long too. At the end of the interview, he asked me how I thought it went. I said, you think you're the first one to do this?
Right.
You thought this was a novel approach? You think this is the first time someone has played a clip out of context and asked me to explain it? I said, take a number and get to the back of the line. I've experienced this many times. And what's funny is in my niche internet community, and maybe more broadly, my generation, this engagement between Zoomers and Boomers, it's been happening. It happened. It happened years ago. And what I mean by that is maybe this is just reaching Piers Morgan now. But 5-6 years ago, people like me were saying to their parents and other edgelords on Twitter and other people, other intellectuals in private were saying to equally as confused boomers, yeah, I'm racist. I don't care. In other words, this is something that has already happened in the past tense. We have been in a post-racist conversation for years. It happened quietly. It happened privately. It happened among the younger generation. It happened on the internet.
Right.
It happened years ago, where people said, including myself and many other occasions, said, you know what, fine, we're racist. You can call me that. We don't care. We're comfortable with it. We want to have the conversation. We're not going to be held back by the labels and the shaming and the grandstanding and all the rest.
Right.
And it's funny that it has taken so many years for that concept to travel to the legacy media where Piers Morgan is. He's just finding out now. This is maybe the first time he's encountered this. I have to believe that because I go on his show at the end of 2025. It's almost 2026. And he's telling me, you're racist. Okay, I don't care. Well, it's over for you. The audience is going to hate that. And it's like, no, hate to break it to you. The audience is with me. And that's just it. That strategy of calling people racist, sexist, anti-Semitic, that had currency 10 years ago. That had power in 2015. Because in 2015, you could gesture to the audience and appeal to those sensibilities, and it would have been a knockout blow. If you could convince an audience
Right.
that someone is a racist, or even if you make the charge that somebody is a
Oh,
racist.
we're not
if someone
well, we're not
identifies as
saying
a-
that. We're not saying that you're not a racist. We're not saying that. There's plenty of racists online. What I'm saying is you're not the hardcore racist that you're portraying to be. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying you're a good guy or a bad guy. I'm not saying any way. I'm saying you have a mask on sometimes, and sometimes you don't. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
racist. The audience is against you. And the person accusing you has the moral high ground. You could gesture to the audience and that would be enough. Oh, well, I've done it. You see here, I've accused him of being a racist. And that, like I said, that had a currency with most people a long time ago. But that isn't the case anymore. It was like that, but it's not anymore.
Yeah.
Now it's the opposite. And what Piers and Tucker and the rest of them don't understand is that I am extremely popular. And I'm not extremely popular because the economy's bad. I hate to tell you that. I hate to break it to you. They all want to tell the story that the only reason I'm popular is because of disaffected young white males can't enter the job market because housing prices are out of control. I'm extremely popular, and it ain't because of the job market. Okay? I became popular this year because this is the first year that I was completely uncensored. I became popular this year because in the intervening 3 or 4 years when I was censored, everybody got radicalized. Everybody got radicalized at home when they were locked down during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And they watched the BLM riots.
Yeah.
And they saw the lies from the mainstream media about the vaccine and about the virus itself. And they saw the Ukraine war and they saw the Biden administration and what they attempted to foist on us, how they tried to jam that down our throats and tell us everything's okay. People in the past few years have gotten black.
You're always going to have people that are going to make you defend being a racist. You're never going to be able to come out of the closet and be a racist. I don't know why people think that you're going to be able to come out the closet and be racist. Because I know for a fact you don't do that shit at your job. You don't do the shit at your job. You don't come out your job and say, all those niggers over there, blah. You ain't going to do that at your job. So yes, you're going to continue to have to censor yourself, and you're going to have to do it online. And that's the only place you're going to be able to do it. Okay? Because you're not going to be able to do it at your job or anywhere else. So that's fine. Do it online. You do whatever online. Don't say it's going to be mainstream, because it's never going to be mainstream.
Fatigue, Israel fatigue, woke fatigue, everything you want to say. In the intervening 3 years, when I was banned, everybody caught up with me. Everybody got as radical as me, so that by the time I became uncensored, it was a match. By the time I became uncensored, there was a general public that had an appetite for it already. I maybe didn't even necessarily make them red-pilled. I didn't make them racist, sexist, the rest of it. They were those things. They had an appetite for those things. They had those feelings. They had those thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was allowed on Instagram, and I simply said them out loud. And for that, I became extremely popular this year. And again, not because they're mad about jobs, but because they see the behavior of black people in these cities after the George Floyd deconstruction of the police departments. It's social and cultural. They agree with what I say about that issue. Because throughout 20...
You can't even correct a black person without... I don't understand what that means. That makes no sense. Correcting a person because you can't correct a person because you're racist. That only make no sense.
23 and 2024, we saw Israel committed genocide against Gaza,
right?
And we saw our Jewish-controlled media run cover for it. We saw one Jewish broadcaster after another from various Jewish media conglomerates give totally biased coverage. People like Ben Shapiro that obviously care far more about Israel, all they could do was talk about anti-Semitism and the Holocaust, while out of the other side of their mouth, they were saying, kill them all, there's no innocents, kill the children. That's why people like me. It's social and cultural. It's political. It's not because the economy's bad. It's not bitter, angry people with no jobs. It's a broad spectrum. It's white people and non-white people. It's men and women. It's young people and it's old people. It's broke people and it's rich people. Because everybody is seeing what is happening to the country because it's all online. It's all on TikTok. It's all on X. It's all on Instagram Reels. And people are tired of it, all of it. The mass migration, the black crime, the Israeli control over our society, the Jewish oligarchs controlling our society. People are done. And what they like about me is I have the balls, or I am in a position because I've already been canceled that I can say these.
Yeah, that's that wild shit. Yeah, you're right. Because but people agree with me, then I got to be right. Just because some people agree with you doesn't mean all people agree with you. No, it wasn't a majority of Americans, Brian. Why do you people keep saying that? I swear to God, y'all got to do math. You really got to do math.
Things openly, with no shame, with no fear, articulately, because I've been talking about these things for years, and I say them without shame or reservation. That's why people like me. And what's funny is that Piers brings me on to expose that I have all those views in his mind to a public that is ignorant of those things.
Right.
But he's the ignorant one. He doesn't know that the public agrees with me. He doesn't know that there's nothing to expose. The clips he played on his show are clips that have gone mega viral many times over on Instagram and TikTok already. And they went viral because people retweeted them. They reshared them. They sent them in group chats and in private messages.
Right.
And they laughed at those clips with their friends. And they said, this is hilarious. I agree. So what's the game? You're going to expose those clips went viral on Instagram because people agree. You're going to expose them to an audience that's seen them? For what purpose?
Right.
They're going to not like what they agree with? It doesn't make any sense. And that's just it. In 2025, calling somebody those names, shaming people, guilting people over that kind of stuff, that no longer has currency. It has no power. Times have changed. People have changed. The country has changed. We have gone over the hill with wokeness. And what the fuck did you think that meant? Because Piers did too. Piers pushed LGBT on children's education. He pushed the COVID lockdown and the vax mandate. He pushed the Israeli genocide in Gaza. He now says he's anti-woke. Well, Piers, what did you think it meant to be anti-woke? Did you think it meant LGB without the T? Did you think it meant no Muslims in the UK, but Indians come on in and replace us? Did you think it meant there's only two genders, but men and women are definitely the same? And they're completely equal and there's no meaningful differences. What exactly did you think that meant? Everybody is sick of it. Everybody's tired of it. Everybody feels like I do. There's nothing there to expose. And you're not going to have a sympathetic audience, and you have no moral high ground. And without that, you have nothing. And I said this during the interview. I said, the reason you're losing to people like me, your generation's going out, you're an out-of-touch boomer. The reason I'm popular and surging and you don't get it, the reason my generation is the way it is, and the rest of it, I said it's because of the way that you belittle and talk about those issues. He had a little moment in there. We were talking about Hitler, and we'll get to that, and white genocide. He said, oh, you think poor white Christians are being replaced? You think those poor white Christians are being genocided? Oh, poor white Christians. I said, that tone, the tone throughout. Oh, so you're a dinosaur. You're a misogynist. Oh, blah. I said, that tone you're taking, the haughty, morally superior, liberal, woke tone. I said, that is a reason why you're losing. That is the reason why your opinions are becoming irrelevant. That's why everyone's laughing at you. Country's changed. So a lot of people said in the comments, they said, well, this is what happens when a boomer and a zoomer talk to each other. That is totally true. There's clearly a generational divide, but it's bigger than that. It's that the audience has completely changed. And that is the real victory, I think, because it is true that 10 years ago, had Piers done the shtick of, oh, okay, you're a misogynistic, sexist, racist, anti-Semite, people go, oh, yeah, well, he is. Yeah, that's really shameful. Oh, my heavens, you can't say that. Now everyone's rooting for that. And by the way, what's on Instagram, it's even worse than what I say. I see clips of Gypsy Crusader. They get 300,000 likes on Instagram. 300,000 likes, millions of views. There are AI translated Hitler speeches that go mega viral on TikTok and Instagram. The people are way past that sort of thing. On that note, I want to talk a little bit about Hitler because he got really hung up on Hitler. And he asked me, do I affirm the Holocaust? Do I think Hitler is cool? And he got all bent out of shape. He said, I don't think Hitler is really cool. I think he's really a monster and he's the worst mass murderer and this, that, and the other. And, he asked me, what is it about Hitler that's cool? And I said, well, the edits, these video edits of Hitler set to music. They show the parades, the military, the speeches, the charisma. And that's just true. That's why I think it's cool. But after the interview, I was thinking to myself, why is Hitler cool? Because he definitely is. And when I say cool, I'm not saying he's good. I'm not saying he's great or anything like that. I'm saying he's cool. Darth Vader is cool. Hitler is cool. He's cool. When you watch the videos, well, you sort of have to be cool. How do you win the absolute allegiance?
Yeah, but the whole thing is, it's not a matter of because everyone agrees with him. It's not a matter of everyone agreeing with him because everyone doesn't agree with him. It's just a matter of, hey, when you go on and see, the thing is, all of these generations live on the internet. You live on the internet. Why do you think he will never be able to hold office, or he will never be able to do X, Y, and Z? Why do you think that is? Okay. Why do you think that is? He gets banned from, why can't he, wait a minute, hold on. Why can't he get back on these platforms? If people believe in what he's saying so much, why wouldn't they put him back on the platforms? Why wouldn't they put him on all of these platforms? You got the X and the no. Don't say they soft. You just said everybody believe what he believed. So if there's so many people that believe what he believed, why is it that he can't get to these things? Because it's not a big portion of people that believe what he believes. He's online. Hey, shit, Nick called them black people nigger. He said the nigger word. Wow. He said it out loud. Look at all of them people mad because he said nigger. He got on in a chat. He got on a panel and said nigger to all the black people. Somehow that seems to be cool to say the N-word. I don't get it. But it's not that cool in mainstream. Because don't nobody care whether you say it or not. And if that's what you mean by white people can't say what they want to say, keep saying that shit. What difference is that going to make? You're just going to piss off the white people. And them the people that got to give you the job. And them the people that got to put you on the platform. If he was so mainstream, he would be back on them platforms. He would be back on them platforms if he was so mainstream. Oh no, all these people love Nick. That's not how that works. It's a lot of people online who can say shit online behind a computer and say whatever they want to say. All these videos in real life going viral. Why do you think when somebody gets on here and is racially charged like they are, they get canceled? Why do you think you hear about these white girls getting canceled every time they open up their dumbass fucking dick suckers and say, nigger! Why do you think they be getting canceled? Because that shit ain't cool outside of this internet. That shit ain't cool outside of that internet. Okay? So don't put that person on a pedestal like people actually believe or people actually... You can want to say nigger all you want to. But that don't mean that it's mainstream in any way, shape, or form. Who is online most of the time? Y'all, you know and I know most people, parents, ain't in these chat rooms. My parents wouldn't be in this chat room. I ain't in these chat rooms. I ain't in this chat room. Trump got elected because all you motherfuckers are online. You online, you tell your friend, hey, we voting for Trump. Hey, we voting for Trump. Yeah, Trump is cool. Trump is cool. Then you find out he's a piece of shit. That's why his rating is 35%. It is what it is. So don't ever think this is going to go mainstream. It's not how that works. He's going to be banned the way he is because he's going to stay that way. Because he doubled down on this shit. Because he doubled down on it. He's going to stay where he's at. Why you think all them why you think them right wingers, them Jewish people, all them people, why you think they ain't trying to talk to him? They ain't trying to fuck with him. JD Vance ain't trying to fuck with him. Trump ain't trying to fuck with him. Ain't nobody trying to fuck with him. Yeah, on the low, but I ain't finna bring you out in the opening and raise your hand up in the air saying, yeah, I believe in everything that Nick Fuentes believe in. Ain't nobody trying to do that. Okay. That don't even make no sense, Keg Dog. You don't even make no sense.
Of a nation of millions if you're not cool, if you don't have an X quality. I don't think anyone would deny that he's a charismatic speaker, a visionary, imaginative, that sort of thing, whether for good or for bad. Most would say bad, of course. but he's certainly cool. And I was thinking, because I saw a lot of the edits after the interview, people took that clip where I said, well, the edits, and then they spliced it with a Hitler edit, a hype edit where there's Euro pop music, techno music blasting, and it's the tanks and it's the speeches. And I was thinking, what is it about Hitler that's cool? Why does it tickle? Because kids love Hitler. Kids love Hitler. Young men see the edits. It's edgy. It's transgressive. There's something.
I welcome all people in my chat. I just don't welcome people who gonna be disrespectful. If you're gonna be disrespectful, please go find somebody else to play with. Find somebody else to play with, because I don't mind saying shit. Okay? I don't mind saying shit on here. Okay? So go find somebody else to play with.
That feels naughty and dark about it, but there's also something electrifying about it. There's something sort of interesting. And I was thinking to myself with introspection, why is it cool? And here's why. Why is Hitler cool? I'll tell you why very simply. Because what Hitler represents is if white people didn't give a fuck. That's what it represents. When you see Hitler, when you see the edits, when you see the vision, and what is the vision? The vision is grand architecture, beautiful fashion, an unstoppable military. You see white people without limits, without restraint. You see white people without the self-imposed guilt, the shame. When people see a Hitler edit and say, that's cool, they don't think about the Holocaust. There's nothing cool about killing people. I'll just go on the record and say that. There's nothing cool about killing people. There's nothing cool about exterminationist ideology. There's nothing cool about anything like that. Right. That's not why people are tickled by it. That's not why people are electrified by it. That's not part of the appeal.
Right.
The appeal is not the weird pagan stuff that took place. The appeal is not the cruelty. The appeal is not the bigotry or the racial hatred. That's not the appeal. The appeal is that we have been living, and by we, I mean Americans, Westerners, white people, Christians, we are living in a time where all we know is self-imposed shame and guilt and self-hatred, hating ourselves, hating our ancestors, having to apologize, rejecting the self, elevating and supporting the other, the racial and ethnic minority, the immigrant, the refugee, the someone of a different religion, the oppressed, the marginalized, the dysfunctional, whatever. And we have to feel sorry. We have to feel bad. We have to listen to HR representatives. We have to do environmental studies. We have to do studies about indigenous peoples. We have to do land acknowledgements. This is the society we've grown up in. We watch movies where we're the villains, TV shows where we're the villains, always. You watch Chicago PD, great show. Chicago PD, it's a show, it's a drama about police in Chicago. What do police in Chicago have to deal with every day? What, in real life? Take a wild guess. What do Chicago police in real life have to deal with? They have to deal with black gangbangers. In the South Side, the West Side, the teen takeovers. They have to deal with the Latin Kings. They have to deal with Hispanic gang members. In the show, you would know that. It's always white people. And in the movies, the villain, always white people. In Star Wars, the new...
Oh, shit. Here we go with that white male victim shit. Why we got to be the ones that are the victims? Why y'all got to make us feel guilty for the shit we did? Here go that white guilt. Here go that white victim shit I can't fucking stand. This world was made for your white ass. This country was made for your white ass. So you have had a head start in doing all of these things that you have wanted to do. You should have figured out how to engineer all white people to stay in charge and all white people to stay in this country. But you didn't. You didn't. Now you mad at us. Now you mad at us that we fucking caught up. Now you mad at us. Now you fucking mad at us. That's crazy. That white guilt, that white victim shit, that's crazy.
Star Wars, the Disney Star Wars. It's a ragtag group of Asians, blacks, Asians, Hispanics, women, I think I said Asians twice, against white supremacist men in the empire. It's a self-hatred, and it runs so deep. It's in our cultural language.
And so that's our fault that you got that guilt. It's our fault that you got to, you need to work that shit out. You can't weaponize it against me. Now we got to feel sorry for the white man? What? Now we got to feel sorry for the white man who done had 400 years of a head start? Now we got to feel bad for you? That's crazy.
It's embedded in it, and it's ubiquitous, and it's everywhere. And what people see in this transgressive narrative, what we're shamed about, is this idea, what if we took the chains off? What if whites, what if Europeans, what if Americans took the chains off of ourselves,
and
which
did
have been
what?
self-imposed?
And did what?
What if we make a decision?
And did what?
To think freely, act freely, to do what is best for ourselves.
Right.
to take care of ourselves, to be proud of ourselves, to be
Right.
proud of our children.
Nobody's saying you can't do that. We don't understand. What do you mean? Jews will not replace you? Is that what you're saying? This is that white shit. This is the white victim mentality shit. Just grow the fuck up and act like you're a human being and act like everybody else is a human being too. Act like everybody else is on the same level as you, and then you won't have a problem. What the fuck is going on? Why we gotta start feeling sorry for the white man now? Why we gotta start feeling bad for you because you ain't getting the right respect you think you're supposed to get? What the fuck is going on here? What?
To be proud of our ancestors, to be proud of who we are. What if we did that? That is what is electrifying. That is what excites people. When people see the edits set to hyperpop music that are energetic, and they see grand displays, they see strength, they see glory, they see beauty, they see ambition, imagination, they see these things. And again, I understand that is not a perfect or even accurate representation of everything that was going on. It doesn't account for the atrocities. It doesn't account for the cruelty and those things that were done. But to celebrate for a moment the forward-thinking nature of those things, the optimism, the pride, it gives people a kick because we're so used to the exact opposite. That's the appeal. What it represents is, what if we went hard as fuck? That's what Hitler represents. What if white people went hard as fuck and we didn't have to pander? We didn't have to pander. We didn't have to make excuses. We didn't have to apologize. We didn't have to do all these rich.
Wait a minute, I thought you were going hard as fuck. I'm confused. He ain't going hard as fuck? I thought he was going hard as fuck. What the hell is going on? I thought he was going hard as fuck. So he ain't going as hard as fuck. What's hard as fuck? I don't understand. What's hard as fuck? What does he mean? What do you mean? You already out here calling people the hard ER. What do you mean? I'm confused. I'm confused. What is he talking about?
Rituals, humiliation rituals that we have to do. It wasn't refugees welcome. It wasn't we're so sorry. It wasn't the original sin of slavery. It wasn't our ancestors were evil. It wasn't, well, we're trying to be better and we're doing the work and we acknowledge we're on stolen land. It was, what if, fuck it, we're going hard. That's what it represents. And that's why young people are drawn to that. And I don't think that people should make that, I don't think that people like Piers should make that a sticking point. I think that's a big mistake. Because if you make that a shit test, disavow Hitler, you have to say Hitler isn't cool. He said, you need to listen to this old Jewish guy. You have to listen to Finkelstein or whatever. You have to listen to this guy talk about his mom and dad. People are going to say, you know what? We don't want to hear it. We don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear another guest. I don't want to hear another foreigner, because that's all it is. That's what American history is. It's Columbus killed the natives, then we enslaved the blacks, then Hitler killed the Jews, then we were racist, and we're all pieces of shit, and we should all hate ourselves. And that's why we need to bring on the immigrants, because we deserve it, because we shouldn't exist, and we're all terrible. And if you're telling us that we have to repudiate, oh, you have to say Hitler's not cool, you can never make jokes and you can never say anything, and you need to feel shame, and you need to make me feel your shame, you need to mean it when you're ashamed, people are going to say, fuck you. Fuck off. I don't want to hear Ben Shapiro talk about the Holocaust. Fuck you.
Then you need to talk about them people with them little hats. Then you need to go on and do that little hat thing. Because they will cancel you for real. You get in there. See, it's okay for you to get on the internet talking about nigger, 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 nigger. It's okay when you get on there. But bring your ass over there and talk about them people with that little hat. Your ass will be fucking canceled for real. For real, for real. Now we really talking about free speech. You ready to rock and roll like that, Nick Fuente? Are you really ready to rock and roll like that? Are you really ready to rock and roll like that with the people with the little hat? Because you people know what I'm talking about in the chat. Get your ass on there talking about them little people with them little hats and see how far you get. Don't worry about saying a nigga. Don't worry about that. We want you to start saying that shit with them little people hat. Then you really talking. Okay? Then you really talking. Okay? But right now, that's all he doing is talking. That's all he doing is talking. And the rest of y'all pussies. Because the rest of y'all ain't going to act on it. Because you don't have enough to act on it. It's okay. It's okay. But I bet you won't get out of pocket with them little hats, though. I bet you won't get out of pocket with them little hats, though. Yeah, that's why he's over in the corner on some Rumble shit. That's why he's over there on the Rumble shit. Okay? That's why he getting canceled from his banking, canceled from his credit cards, because he's saying the shit he wants to say. We're telling him, you can't say everything you want to say. He's saying, I'm going to say it anyway. Okay, then stay your ass over there canceled then. Don't nobody give a fuck. Stay over there be canceled then. But I do know if he really want to take it there and he want to fuck with them people with them little hats, oh, you going to be more than canceled, goddammit. You going to be more than canceled. You fuck with them people with the little hat. Okay? So when you can fuck with them people, you can fuck with them little hat people for real, then we talking. But you just being able to say nigger, being able to say that ain't shit. You proved that it ain't shit to say nigger. But get on there talking that foo-foo la-la with that little hat. Then we talking about free speech. Otherwise, shut your ass up. Talking about free speech. We want to be unrestrained. You ain't unrestrained. You know better. You getting burnt up. You know better. That's right. You know better. Shut your ass up when you talking about free speech, because free speech ain't free. That's all he got to do is say nigga. That's fine. Go ahead. Don't nobody care. You start fucking with them little hat people, this shit ain't gonna be funny. Okay? It's okay, but that shit ain't gonna be funny. So when this white boy keeps saying, I'm gonna be unrestrained. I'm gonna be unrestrained. You ain't gonna tell me what to do. Yeah, okay. He just said that. He just said, we tired of being restrained. We tired of being nice. We tired of doing X, Y, and Z. You know what the fuck he said. I bet you he won't get all the way the fuck out of pocket with them little hats. I bet you he won't, and I bet you won't. So shut the hell up when it come to free speech. Because you ain't got no free speech. Not as long as them people are in charge. You ain't in charge, shut your ass up. The N-word don't mean jack shit. I done said it 20, 30 times in here. What you talking about?
You go home. I'm not going to feel sorry. I'm not going to feel bad. And you want to know why? And everyone understands this. Our country is going to shit. Everyone knows it. That's the bottom line. Bigger than all of this, it's a very simple idea. The simplest, most fundamental form of the idea behind all of it is this. Everything is going to shit.
That's not what I said. What I said was he says the N-word all the time on the show. He says it all the time. Don't nobody give a fuck what he say that when he say that. Nobody. We don't even give a fuck that he say that. Who cares? But he won't say the other shit for the little hat people. So he's a hypocrite. And anybody else that follow him is a hypocrite. Because you know you say that shit and you won't be on this internet too much.
We all know the way things used to be. We all know the way it used to be because we've seen the videos. And it's like a portal to another universe. You see these videos of LA, Detroit, Chicago, St. Louis, New York, San Francisco in the 1950s, the 1940s. And we see what it was like. And we see what we could have had. And it's lost. It's gone. And everyone knows it. Everyone knows things have gotten worse. And we know exactly why. Because in 1968, MLK Jr. got shot and race riots destroyed all those cities. Detroit was the Paris of the Midwest. Now it's a fucking dump. And then after all the cities got turned into a dump and the whites fled, then they poured the immigrants in. And then for 50 years, we were subjected to wave after wave, unrelenting of immigrants that we did not desire, that are not making our country better. And that doesn't mean that they're horrible people. We don't need to say they're bad people, but they're people that are not improving the country. We all know that the types of things that we had qualitatively are different. I'll give you an example from the city of Chicago. My great uncle used to run security at Marshall Fields. Marshall Fields was a flagship department store
in Chicago. It was basically like a World Heritage Site. And every Christmas, they put up elaborate decorations and a tree and window displays.
Make it make sense, Ulysses. Make it make sense. He's a ball of contradiction. As long, see, I believe you. You can say whatever you want to on your channel. I don't care. But as long as you can't say what you want to say when it comes to the little hat people, get the fuck up. Because you're restrained. You're restrained. And you're not going to talk 2 Point crazy. Because you already have suffered the wrath of talking 2 Point crazy about the people with the little hat. Okay? It don't bother him. He can be his race. I ain't fucking him. I ain't fucking him, so I don't give a fuck about the short motherfucker. I don't give a fuck about him. He can go in the corner and throw his ass down the stairs, concrete stairs, with his hand tied behind his back. I don't give a fuck. But he know where his bread and butter is at. He knows damn well he ain't gonna get out here talking 2 Point crazy about that little hat. So all this noise, kill all this noise you talking. Kill all that noise you talking. Because if you ain't gonna go hard and talk about the little hat people, shut your ass up. Because you just talking. Because don't nobody care about the N-word. The N-word to get your ass canceled and fired. But the little hat people, erase your ass from this planet.
And people got dressed up when they went there. It was a big deal to go Christmas shopping at Marshall Fields. That's a time when people cared. That's a time when people cared about the customer and the quality of the experience. And there was a real commons, a real sense of pride in our public gatherings, our public spaces. And it was a big deal. People got dressed up and they went downtown like it was an event, and they looked at the beautiful decorations and they shopped. My great uncle ran security there, my great uncle Tony. And now you go to these stores and people are getting shot. There's no decorations. Nobody gives a shit. It's a free-for-all. You go to Macy's, you go to Marshall Fields, it looks like a flea market. And everybody in there is speaking a different language. And everybody in there is acting like it's a free-for-all. Kids running everywhere. It's a nightmare. These are the quality.
That's exactly how they feel when it comes to Charlie Kirk. A lot of these people would say, oh, Charlie Kirk just spoke the truth. Charlie Kirk said some heinous, racist shit. He said some heinous, racist shit. Okay? But that's how they feel. Okay? Don't nobody give a fuck how you feel. You can't say what you want to in this world. You just can't. Not every time. You can say what you want to behind the keyboard, but you can't say nothing in real life. You can't say nothing. You just can't say what the hell you wanted to say.
Things that we're losing. That's our civilization. That's our society. That's the way things used to be. It's not about the technology. It's not about the GDP, whether you can assign a dollar amount to things. People say, well, the economy grew and we have TVs now, but we lost.
I just went through explaining to you about the little people hat. I just went and I explained it to you. Yeah, Charlie Kirk was great. Goofy. Charlie Kirk was on that goofy shit just like Nick is on the goofy shit. Charlie Kirk just had people saying, what was Charlie Kirk? Charlie Kirk pretended like he wasn't racist, but he was. Just was.
Something qualitative. We lost something that cannot be measured, and we lost it because of diversity. We lost it because we gave up. We lost it because we blamed ourselves. We became guilty. We lost the standards. We started making excuses for everybody. This is the simplest form of the idea. We have lost something that is priceless, something that is not recoverable. We were cheated. It was our inheritance. Thousands of years of culture, thousands of years of cultural and genetic transmission, of wars and battles, of industry and intellectual pursuit gave us the civilization of the last century. And it's gone now. It's all gone. It has been destroyed.
And I know you didn't jump your ass in that chat. I know you didn't jump your ass in the chat and tell me to keep my motherfucking mouth shut. Bitch, you done lost your mind, Lord Black Video. You really done lost your motherfucking mind, cunt. Don't come to my chat telling me what I'm gonna do, ever.
Destroyed, and it's never coming back. And it's that profound and deep sense of loss and alienation from our own home, from our own identity, from our own parents, from our own history.
And see, this is that victim shit I don't like from white men. This is the victim thing that you get from white men. This is what they saying now. Oh my God, we were so nice. Now we so nice. Now we getting treated so bad now. We are the victims. They just done treated us so bad. We because we felt guilty, we let them in, and now we feel so bad. This is that white man victim shit. This shit is wild. That white victim man shit.
That is what is driving this. That's the problem. And it's implicit in Piers Morgan, his glib defense of mass migration when he says, well, the curry is really good. The curry? Fuck you. The curry? You think the curry can replace the civilization that gave us Shakespeare and the Magna Carta? You think the curry replaces that? Replaces Lord Nelson?
Are you crazy, little white privilege? Are you crazy? I can't help it that y'all coming up with some bullshit. This is the shit that Charlie Kirk tried to put out there. It ain't what y'all called it, but this is what y'all called it. This is what Charlie called it. Why should I feel guilty because of black folk? Why should I feel guilty because of X, Y, and Z? We the same. I don't believe in race. We built the same way. Why is it that she get more opportunity with the civil rights stuff than I do? I'm getting discriminated against. That's that white bullshit. That's that white guilt shit.
Replaces the Constitution of the United States?
Or white victim shit. I'm sorry, white victim shit.
Replaces the explorers and the pioneers, the conquerors that settled North America, India that took over the entire world, that invented the steam engine and the railroad and the automobile. Curry? Ethnic food? Fuck you. And you want us to feel sorry now. You want us to apologize to some Jew selling a book?
Woo! Why this motherfucker double down on this shit? Yeah, DEI is racist. There you go. There go that white man guilt shit, white man victim mentality. DEI is racist against the white man. No, ain't nobody confused. I get it exactly. DEI is racist against who, Cybertruck? It's racist against white men, ain't it? That's that white men victim shit.
Well, you should read my book.
Yeah, you think you white. I get it.
Where I talk about my parents that died. Your parents, why don't you go to Israel? There's no excuse anymore. What are you still doing here other than to bitch about our people and our civilization and our God and our ancestors? We're all sick of that. That's what it's about. That's the part of Hitler that no one wants to talk about. They want to talk about the 6 million. They want to talk about, well, what about this, that, and the other? That's the feeling. That's the feeling. That's the vibes.
Right.
That's why it resonates with people in the 21st century.
Right.
It's not because people are ideological national socialists necessarily.
I believe white fatigue is really real, and that white man victim mentality that you got. Stop coming over here trying to make me feel guilty because you doing some white shit that you feel guilty for doing with the shit that you do. Stop it. It's the white victim mentality. Damn. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Stop worrying about what I'm doing.
It's not because they read Mein Kampf and they're whipped up about Lebensraum and in the particular.
Yeah, DEI, you scared to compete. Yeah, y'all scared to compete now.
Parochial provincial politics of 1930s Germany. It's because of the feeling of we've lost everything and they want us to feel sorry. We've lost everything about who we are in our civilization and they still want us to feel bad. They're still extracting, still taking. And people have had enough of that. And people are starting to say, what if? What if it was all a mistake?
Man.
People are saying, what if everything in the last 80 years was a mistake because it's not working? What has it given us?
Right.
Crime, chaos, dysfunction, insanity. I said it in Piers Morgan as a joke. I said, you have a knife problem.
That's all y'all. That's all y'all white folks. That's all y'all white folks. All that victim mentality shit. Take that shit over there across the street. Take the shit over there across the street. Take the shit over there across the street. Better still, why don't y'all pull out the card that Nick keep pulling out? Pull the card out that Nick is pulling out. That victim, I done did so much for y'all blacks and y'all Hispanic. I done did so much for y'all. Now I done neglected myself. Oh my God. Yeah, that's the white victim mentality. white people have victim mentality. Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Have Aladdin. We, the West, Europeans, won with technological and military superiority, dominated the globe for 500 years, created the modern world. And now
So what happened? What happened?
our prize is that people are going to get cut down in their own country by swords. Children are going to be raped by Muslims in their own country, by foreigners.
What?
You have these marauding Africans and Jamaicans and people from the Indies, people from Africa, people from the Middle East. They're going to be running around cutting people in half with swords. And
They don't bother me. They don't bother me, not at all. The trolls, the racists, they don't bother me at all. It's just like water rolling off a duck's ass. They just talking, don't have no kind of coherent sentence. Nick Fuentes can talk all that he wants to, but I bet you he don't talk about that little hat people. He don't never talk about them little hat people. I'm sorry, he does, but his followers don't. They don't never talk about the white. They don't never talk about the little hat people. Okay?
knives, and people think,
Yeah, black duck's ass. You right, Cortland Brand. Just like that. Hate all you want. Sit in that chat. Hate all you want. It's still white. It's still white men trying to make us feel guilty for their shit. That's all it is. White men trying to make us feel guilty. No, white men trying to make other white men feel guilty. That's all. Why y'all letting all them black niggers run all over my country? Why you letting all them Hispanic people run all over my country? Why you letting them Asian motherfuckers run all over my country? I'm a white man, you a white man too. Why you letting them people run all up in here? Why Joe Biden did it? Joe Biden did it. Joe Biden let all them white folk, Joe Biden did it. Shut y'all dumb ass up.
this is acceptable. You have a Muslim mayor that says, well, that's part and parcel of living in a city. That's the problem people have. The idea
You done lost your mind. He said, why do I want the white man's respect? You done lost your damn mind.
that any of this is
You done
acceptable,
lost
that
your
any of this is
damn
part and
mind.
parcel. We don't have a dignified civilization. You go out and it's a stench of drugs. It's graffiti. It's the constant state of fear, the menace of minorities in the streets. That's the problem people have. And the idea that we have to be okay with all of it. So
Right.
I thought long and hard about it after the show. He said, so what is it that's cool about Hitler? And I watched some of the edits and I said, why do I like this? Why do I like this? What is this feeling that I like? Oh, it makes me feel proud. It makes me feel like there's possibilities. There's not this constant shaming from hostile interlopers that don't even like us to boot. Jewish people that in some ways inherently resent us. They say things like Europeans have anti-Semitism in their DNA and they're shaming us. You don't even like us. I said in the interview, they're counting down the days until whites are a minority and they're shaming us, telling us we should feel sorry and they hate us and we're listening to them. And it's no different from black people that say,
No, I ain't said nothing about poor white. I don't care one way or the other whether you black, white, Hispanic. Don't nobody stand taller than me. So let's get that straight. I'm not waiting for anybody to do anything for me. This is the white guilt that we're listening from Nick Fuentes. We're listening to that victim mentality, white victim mentality thing from Nick Fuentes. I'm sorry. Your man is expressing that. Address your man. Why the hell is he over here whining about why y'all letting all these foreigners come in our country? Why y'all letting us do that? Talk to your boy. That's that victim mentality shit your boy talking about. I ain't saying shit.
you need to feel sorry about slavery and they hate us. This is the problem that people have. This is where my appeal comes from. This is why this stuff is resonating. Now, you don't like it. Maybe you don't like it. Maybe you don't want to hear that. Maybe you find that deeply problematic, but that's what it is.
Hell no.
And that's true. And it gets to the central point, which I'll finally arrive at. Why do we say Hitler's cool and make jokes about this? Because we are destroying the secular religion of liberalism and the Holocaust, which go hand in glove. That's why. He asked me about the 6 million. To tell you the truth, I don't know how many Jews died during the Holocaust. I don't care.
Right.
I don't care. And I'll say it's 300,000. I'll say it's 100 million because I want you to know that I don't care. I want you to know that I don't
want
take
you
it
to
serious.
know that I don't care. I bet you a lot of y'all won't be talking that foo-foo la. Go on your job and start talking that foo-foo la la. Go on your job and start talking that foo-foo la la. I love the way y'all get into a black woman's chat who don't give a fuck what you put in the chat. I love the way y'all get into the chat and start talking about shit, trying to bait me. I don't get baited by peons. Stop it. I don't get baited by race. Stop it. So stop saying that. That don't even make sense to me.
Seriously. Every death is a tragedy.
You in a black woman's chat talking about baiting a black woman. That shit don't even make sense to me. You ain't y'all the ones who asking people whether what's a man or a woman? You don't know that answer neither? Y'all don't know that answer either?
Every death in a genocide is a tragedy. But you have weaponized the Holocaust against me and my people. You have weaponized this atrocity against my civilization in order to further your own political objectives. And as long as you're doing that, it is my obligation to blaspheme your false secular religion. So I'll say it's 300,000 or 10 million. I'll say Hitler is cool. And he said, why do you say that? I said, this is why. This reaction, the histrionics, the freaking out, phoning the expert with his book saying my mom and dad died during Stalin and the Holocaust, because I want you to know that I don't care. And I want you to get mad. And I want you to treat it like a blasphemy, because that is self-consciously and intentionally what it is.
Right.
The Holocaust and Hitler and racism, all these words have no power over me.
Right.
That's all.
These words don't have no power over me. I don't care. I'm with Nick like that. Yeah, me and Nick agree. Give a fuck. What you talking about?
They are his words, denotating concepts. But these concepts have been poisonous. Hitler, the Holocaust, racism, white supremacy, white nationalism.
Right.
These are words that have been weaponized against us. And they carry with them these ideas, which are that we don't deserve to have a homeland. These ideas that we shouldn't be proud of who we are, that we shouldn't stand up for our religion. And, you know, to the point of a lot of these people.
Ain't nobody stopping y'all from standing up for your religion. I don't understand. Who's making y'all not? Oh, okay. Nick is really, now he's starting to talk about the little people with the little hat. Okay, I got you.
People, Muslims are planting a flag in Europe. They're warriors. They are planting their flag in Europe. They're taking over neighborhoods in the UK. They're doing their call to prayer.
Right.
They're taking up space, and they're loud and they're proud and they're daring people to try and fuck with them.
Right.
And they're saying there's a lot of us. There's a lot of fighting age men, and we're ready and able to fight, and we're in your streets, and we're doing our prayer, and we dare you to do something about it.
Right.
And what do Christians do? Acquiesce and tolerate and welcome and make excuses. And we do it, by the way, for Muslims. We do it for Jews too. And on a secular level,
so he's trying to make the rest of y'all white folks feel guilty. He's trying to make y'all feel guilty for being decent human beings. I get it. He's trying to make y'all feel guilty for being decent human beings, for wanting to have inclusion, for wanting to have immigration. He wants y'all to turn away from having a diverse culture and it'd just be white culture. That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to guilt you all into doing that. Let's guilt all these people into saying they just want to be white and X, Y, and Z. Just guilt all these people not wanting to accept Jewish people or foreign people or anything else. Okay, he's trying to make you white people feel guilty. He ain't talking to me. He's talking to the white folks. I get it.
But for these non-white immigrants, Indians and Hispanics and others that come in that don't like us, that don't like our culture. And so when we say these words and this religion has no power, we're rejecting that idea that we don't deserve to have our own country, that we are not allowed to plant our flag, that we're not allowed to plant a flag for Christ and take up space as men, as fighting age men, and get out there and plant a flag and say, try and fuck with us. Muslims can do it. Don't you feel weak? Don't you feel weak when a bunch of Muslim thugs get in the streets in New York or in London? Big Muslim guys, street toughs, get out there, taking up space, and they set up shop, and they know it offends people. They know it's provocative, and they say, bring it on. And what do? In our own country that our ancestors fought for, in the land of Washington and Lincoln and Jefferson and Adams, in the land of Nelson and Edward, in these countries, and we let them do it. And it's these poisonous ideas, white supremacist, Hitler, Nazi, racist, white nationalists, where we say we would never defend, we would never stand against. And the same goes for the Jews that do it in their own special way, that do it in their own way in the smoky corridors of power. It's the same thing. So that's my response to this whole interview, the shaming, the guilt tripping. You need to be ashamed. You should feel sorry. You should feel guilty. But what about what you said?
Yeah, you need to talk to your wife.
I apologize for nothing. I take nothing back. You want to expose me? No. Everybody supports it. Congratulations. You did your proper expose, and everybody stands with me, and nobody stands.
And that's where he gets everything wrong, because otherwise he wouldn't be banned on all fucking platforms. If everybody felt like he was right, he wouldn't be banned on all fucking platforms. If he was right. Y'all do know that, right? If he was right and everybody stood with him, then he wouldn't be banned on all those platforms. But see, he loves to do that free speech shit. He loves to be that free speech shit. But the problem is, he won't do that little hat shit. He won't do none of that. It's big talk on the internet when you banned on everything. Keep talking, motherfucker. You the one got banned on TikTok and all them other things. You've been banned on all of that shit. You know the consequences of talking about them little hats. You know that. You know that. People keep saying, okay, at M5CTO2, you stand with Nick. Go to your job and act a fool just like Nick. Go to your job and say whatever the fuck you want to say. Let's see if you stand with Nick then. You know when to open your mouth and when not to, right? You know on your job, you open your mouth and say something about that little hat, you ain't gonna have no job. Okay? You know damn well you open up your mouth like that and you ain't gonna have no job. So it's okay to come on here and say, I'm a black, nigga. It's okay to come on here and say all that. But you take your ass to your job talking about them little hat people, you ain't gonna be doing that. So I don't respect you after that. We don't respect you after that. You know damn well everybody falling. You get to talking about them people with that little hat, everybody fall in line. You fall in fucking line. Shut your ass up. And just because you agree with him don't mean he's correct. Truth don't get you banned. How the hell he got banned in? You sound dumb. He got banned on all his platforms. Saying the truth don't get you banned. Yes, it do. You must not be watching the news. You must be living in a cave then. 33313 money. You must live in a fucking cave. If you ain't seen how people get canceled quick as hell when they say something about the little hat or they say the N-word. You goofy. That don't even make sense. But this is okay. I understand what he went on, where he went on. But just because you got people in the chat agreeing with you does not mean that the rest of the world agrees with you, because the rest of the world canceled you. How do a motherfucker get canceled from being on flights? Can't get on no flight, can't get no credit card, can't have no banking account. How do you get banned because of that? If all these people believe what you saying, how is it that you got banned? How is it that you ain't getting your platforms back? How you ain't got your platforms back? Okay. How is it that you ain't got your platforms back? If everybody believe what you believe, wouldn't you quietly get your platforms back? Because we don't believe you. Because I know that's not to be true. I know it's not to be true. All I know is that he was on the defensive all the way through these interviews. If you're on the defensive, that means you ain't winning. That means you ain't leading. And he was on the defensive every time he got near Piers Morgan. You're not leading, you're following. He's answering questions that he didn't want to answer. He's trying to prove himself to people he didn't need to prove himself to. He giving energy to people who may or may not have his best interest at heart. That's how I saw that interview. I didn't say that interview as Nick Fuentes winning. Because when you defend yourself so much, it's like you trying to explain what the fuck you did wrong. That's the way it came across to me. Okay? Speak your truth and then stand in your square. That wasn't what we saw. That's not what I saw. Stop over explaining. Don't explain no more. Take back control. He's in control on his show. That wasn't how he was over there with Piers Morgan. That wasn't how he was over there. People keep hollering about free speech. Free speech. I want to speak freely. We gonna speak freely. Take your ass on out there and speak freely if you want to. Speak freely if you want to. Okay. Speak freely if you want to. But that's not how that goes. And we know it. You can't say what you want to in this political climate. Most people can't. And we're not trying to. Most people ain't trying to. Most people trying to get along and get along. And I get what Nick Fuentes is doing. I get it. I just look at him and say, I don't know whether I believe what you actually think. I know he wants to have a climate in which there's white people keeping with white people. But I don't see him marrying anybody. I don't see him getting a wife and having 3, 4, 5, 10 kids like that degenerate Elon Musk. If you so concerned about your legacy and having a white nationalist or white society, why you ain't out there procreating with 10, 20 different women so your seed could get out there? Why ain't your seed out there? Why you ain't putting your seed out there? If you so concerned about it being a white race 50 years from now, why you ain't got yourself putting on, why you ain't out there? Okay? Cause you're just talking crazy. You're just talking crazy. I don't believe you. I understand that you want a white ethno state. I get all of that. But you ain't doing nothing to help it come about, are you? You just talking. You just talking. And 9 times out of 10, the world used to be 30% white back in 1920. Now, it's only 7% white. I don't know. We don't know what's going on.
And with you and your pussy.
You all, I hope you hitting the like and the share and the share button. Like and the share button, please. Subscribe to the channel. We have this content every day. We have goofy content every day about somebody.
Hat and your empathetic kids and all your other nonsense. And you have to deal with that new reality. You don't have to like me. You can think I'm a jerk. You can think I'm irresponsible. You can think whatever you want about me. It's not about me. It's about what I am expressing. I am just the person that happens to be expressing it because I understand it. I have the brains to perceive it, I understand it, and I can articulate it. And I fought for 10 years to do that. I just happen to be the spokesperson. I just happen to be the vessel. So it's not about me. It's about this message. And like I said, you can like me or not, but that is the new reality that people are going to have to get used to. And that goes for Piers and Tucker. That goes for Piers and colorblind Tucker that says nothing's about race and nothing's about Jews. The new reality is, no, it's not about the economy. It's about our identity. It's not about the housing market and the job market. It's about who we are as a people. The Jews have peoplehood. The Muslims have peoplehood. And Christians and Europeans have peoplehood too. And I'm going to give it back to them. I'm going to give them permission. I'm going to tell them it's okay. We are people too. We have peoplehood too. We are a nation.
Yeah, but it's a small percentage of you, Nick. So you can give back those people what they want. But you don't have a lot of people out here talking like you because they know they will be canceled. Most people are scared of those consequences. And it's great. I get it. But not too many people are going to follow you offline talking 2-point crazy. It just doesn't happen. Those dudes that were in that chat, those white dudes that were in that chat talking 2-point crazy, yeah, they got fired from all them jobs. You ain't finna come out and say no crazy shit and then get yourself fired because Nick Fuentes told you to say some crazy shit. You ain't gonna do that. Most people ain't gonna do that. Okay? You ain't got free speech, Cybertruck, because you ain't over there talking 2-point crazy to the Jews. Them Jewish people, them people with the little hat, you ain't over there talking crazy, so you ain't got no free speech. Shut your ass up. You just talking, as per usual.
We're Christians. We're Europeans. We're Romans. We have a right to plant a flag in our own fucking country, in our own territory.
Yeah, you need to go back to Rome, Italy, France, wherever the fuck you came from then. Then you'd have your pure race, wouldn't you?
Right. That's the message.
Over here is a mixed bucket. Over here is going to be mixed bucket people. If you want a pure race, go back to India, Africa, go back to Israel, Italy, France, Ireland, England, go back there. If you want a pure natural place, go back there. Here is a melting pot. Here in the United States is a melting pot. It ain't never been all white. I don't even know why you would think that it would be all white and it would stay that way. This country was 30% black in the 30% white in the 1930s. Now it's down to 7%, which means the totally pure white people are either going back to Europe or they're integrating with everything else. So you just got to do, yeah, his father's Mexican. It is what it is.
And the liberal universalism of either side. You know, Piers is more of a left-wing flavor. Tucker's more of a right-wing flavor.
Mm-hmm.
It's a false dialectic. They're two sides of the same coin. The real tidal wave is identity. So anyway, that's sort of my thoughts on the whole interview.
Okay.
I do get a little whipped up because of the whole, you know, and we're doing the interview and we're playing a game. We're playing a game. He's the court-appointed inquisitor.
Yeah.
He's the interrogator. He's the cop. And that's why I said I don't mind it. I don't see it as an ambush because I knew that. And I'm being spunky and I'm being funny and I'm being amused by the whole thing. But I do feel very strongly about it. I repudiate the liberal guilt tripping. We have to reject it in its totality. And white people have to start being proud of who they are. Christians have to be proud of who they are. Americans have to be proud of who they are. We need to plant a flag. We need to defend what we stand for and who we are, as opposed to this values-based. What does it mean to be white? It means to be not racist. It means to be not sexist. It means to not be a misogynistic pig. Shut up. Our generation hates that. Generation Z hates all of that.
Well, it is what it is. That is his interview. That is the interview. But like I said, it's okay. But I don't see you going and getting yourself a wife and making babies and trying to continue the white race, the whole thing. I don't see you doing that. I don't see you doing it anytime soon because you're a virgin, you're an incel, you hate women, you're a misogynist, you're all them things. But you're out here talking about the white race, continuing the white race, but you're not doing anything to continue it. You're just talking. And even Elon with his degenerate ass got 14 goddamn kids. Why you ain't marrying somebody and having 14 goddamn kids to help get your race out there, to help do your part in helping the race get along? Cause you're just talking. Cause you're just talking and I don't believe you. I don't believe you. It is what it is. Yeah, so something is off. Either he's an incel and something is off about him. I don't know what it is, but it is. Okay? You're lying about the white population. Who's lying about the white population? I ain't lying about no white population. I ain't said jack shit about white population. He the one said shit about the white population. He's the one who said that. That's wild. You talk to Nick Fuentes about the white population. Don't talk to me about it. I don't give a fuck about the white population. I don't give a fuck about no population but mine. My square. This is my square. This is what I give a fuck about. But outside of that, it's veterans, old people, poor kids, disabled people. That's it. All the rest of y'all can go burn. But it is what it is. He's never said. Come on, y'all. Y'all got to stop this weird shit. Y'all got to stop this weird shit. You all hit the like, share, and subscribe button. We have this content every day. We have this content every day. I will be back this afternoon. Once I wake up and do what I got to do. Making about 89% of total. Damn. Yeah. Tell me without telling me you never actually listened to a Fuentes video. I'm not invested in Fuentes. I'm not invested in that boy in any way, shape, or form. He just says shit that I can react to. And he seems to have some of you guys enthralled. Be enthralled. Who cares? Nobody like this is ever going to have a influence over my life. I'm not even going to look at him and say X, Y, and D. I'm just not. It is what it is. I mean, I'm not that invested in him. He says stuff, goofy shit, and it's shit to be, okay. It is what it is. We got to do what we got to do. Anyway, I'll be back tomorrow afternoon. We have content like this every day. Please like, share, subscribe. Do your thing. I appreciate it. Like, share,